Philippine Antics livestream will start in a moment. Sit tight, my friends. The best darn show offering expat advice, Philippine updates, and fun. Keeping it real since the 80s.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Guys, this is a actually a serious thing, and it again this is serious on both sides, with Filipino and American side. And the what I'm getting at is please try to stay on topic, because again this is a serious matter. It's actually not a laughing matter.
Well, it's what we wanted to say is that, the legality is these are accusations, allegedly what an American has done, what has happened to a Filipina, a family member, serious. We've been contacted by several people in regards to this since yesterday. And disclaimer, we are not attorneys. We have our legal disclaimer in there. This is not a replacement for any legal advice for her, for him. Also, guys, we have invited them both. We have found him on Facebook. He's been sent a full message hours ago, which would be supposedly he went back to Chicago. So it'd be evening time in the US. And for her, we started yesterday. So we addressed her on her web page. We have put a link to her page inside of the description of all fairness. And we have sent a full email asking her to appear on this live, in full support of her and what she is actually saying, these accusations. And we have a bunch of notes and some footage and different things. We will address people, like George said, in regards to the actual topic. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, like like the other lives go. But it's one of these kind of like some of our others where we will just pretty much be going through the topic and answering, throughout and everything. So we do appreciate everybody being here, the members. I discussed this with George last night, and he said it was up to me if I wanted to discuss this. As you guys know, this is kind of close to my heart because we talked about Randy and why we covered Randy. We got so much love and hate over the Randy situation. They're like, well, it has nothing to do with your channel. Well, actually, I had adults inappropriately do things to me as a young woman, and it was not another family member. So I want to make that clear. But this one also hits home with me because another family member, somebody within my household, something happened to them in Florida also. And both of them were under the age of 9. And there was an older gentleman. We lived in an apartment complex. There was a trailer park in there, a surprise, in Florida. And the guy lured the kids in with birds. And he said, would you like to touch my bird? And that's not what he meant, guys. So it made me cry last night, and I'm very disturbed. I don't, there's a lot to say about this topic today, and I hope this brings some awareness. We know Filipinos watch us, and Filipinos, we know expats watch. This is probably the same as when we talk about other couples and other things. It's not to bring the serious drama, to bring to reality what does happen, which could have happened anywhere in the world, correct? I mean, this is something we don't know. There could be a third story. We know that there's different things going on. So we're going to try to cover this. And this is an open discussion for everybody in the room. We'll cover it and then go through and answer how we feel on it. But her name is Rufina, and she has made some accusations against a gentleman named, we're just going to call them by their names, Scuba Chef, that used to know Geo, which looks like something happened with him and Geo, because on his Facebook page and Geo's page, his video no longer exists. Allegedly, they're no longer talking with each other. I don't know why. Rufina, in her videos, which are on her page, so make the decision for yourself, she allegedly goes on about his drinking and his smoking and how she has given up her schooling for him. Correct me if I'm wrong in this. How she had stopped going to school and was taking care of her family. I see where she's referred to as wife and calling the child by another last name. I'm not sure. I don't believe that they're married. I know that their relationship online only appears for about a year, and that's about when we seen her on Geo, was about a year ago.
It's about a year.
We don't know prior to that. We don't know how they met. Yeah, I to see if she comes into the room. But they've both been invited. We'll be going through comments and then your comments also. So I don't know what you.
Yeah, no. Now keep in mind again, both parties have been contacted, and they may or may not show up in the middle of this live. Okay. So, but both parties have been contacted.
Yes.
And remember, right now we only have
Accounts.
a she says thing. But to be fair, we will analyze it on as if it's both parties. Because again, in all fairness, again, we have to be fair for both the American party and the Filipino party. Okay.
And this will be, how we feel, a community discussion, awareness. And we will say what these other emails have been discussing and what their feelings are. It does not mean there are personal feelings unless I say, okay, he's a piece of shit or she's, so that if it comes from me, then it's my personal feeling, guys. Okay. You guys kind of know how this goes. So, I don't know if you want to cover it and then go through the comments.
I don't know. We'll go through the comments later because again,
if we address the comments now, it takes us off topic.
Because this is a serious thing. Because then we don't want to get derailed or anything like that. But like I said, we're gonna present to you in an objective manner as much as we can, and also be aware too that
Do you want me to go through some of the timeline I have? So the timeline we kind of have is the vlogger Rufina has an actual page called Rufina's Journey in the Philippines. Looks to be a channel that's less than a year old. And on average, her views, and I'm going to mention that for reasons, 3.4 thousand, 1,000, 2.1 thousand, 1.6. It shows where she's been going on vacations, different things, family life with this gentleman, Phil. It shows all kinds of different things. And then all of a sudden, we've never seen this channel until yesterday. Then 6 days ago, I'm officially single. And you have that video. And then after that, she puts up a video 1 day ago, my date, and then her community and the photo show looks to be at a salon, her hair being done. And then a day ago, we get this American guy scammed and used me. This seems to be a big thing she keeps repeating, is how she's been used and the money situation. And then she goes into a community post less than 15 hours ago where she has allegedly taken people's advice and filed something against them. But there is no clear thing that she said. She didn't say, I went to the police station. I see in the description, she actually said, let's see. Well, you have that. Do you have the individual photo of just that? Or is it in the, yeah, you can pull that up for now. And we'll probably go back over there. Update. Hello, everyone. I filed a complaint against him already, and I gathered all the evidence. I have shown it to the authorities, so I'd make a report from my statement. Been to the police and immigration here. Thank you for all of your support. It cheered me up. When arriving to Manila, we'll report him to immigration. They're also an NBI. So I don't know if that means she'll report him when she gets to Manila, when she leaves on an airplane. P.S. Because of all your support, I've already booked my ticket back home for our bright future ahead of us. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to go through her timeline. I think she's claiming she's going to be going to Korea. She does have a daughter. She's making allegations. We'll let you guys see this and, let you guys.
Now be aware, and okay, I implore you, hold judgment. We're holding our judgment because first off, remember what I always say. There's a he says, she says, and somewhere in the middle. And the problem we have right now is we only have what she says and not what he says.
She's here in the Philippines looking to go back to Korea, something about Korean family. He went back stateside, allegedly. She said he left. I don't know if she's got a plane ticket and she knows he's left. I don't know if he said he's left. She said something about being blocked or something. He's no longer talking to her. There's some sort of blocking going on. So we're going to go ahead and play this as I go through some of your comments and stare at them. So
yeah, and remember also again, hold judgment. Don't be too fast to say, hey, he's a scumbag or she's a scumbag again. It's not what we're saying. It's, again, suspend belief until you have all the facts. And honestly, some of you in the chat are reflecting certain.
And I do see where somebody said that she should contact the NBI, FBI, and all that. And if she does have to do that in person. Any reports to immigration and NBI, you may feel you can email them, but when it comes to all files like that, you have to do it in person. You can't just send an email. So a lot of people were wondering if she really did because it had been less than a 12, 14-hour time frame. Definitely less than a day that she did, but we don't know if she gathered where he owed her money and turned it in or did a police report. But all of this will be actually necessary. So
Now, first off, too, also, be aware this is okay. It doesn't matter what country it is. It doesn't matter. The problem we have with police reports is that exactly what they are. They're police reports. That being
and
said, anybody can file a false, whether it's true or not.
and real quick, our Philippine journey made a good statement, and we said this at the beginning. We have only heard from her. This is her story. This is one side right now.
Right. Now, again, remember that police reports are just that. They are police reports, meaning whether they're true or false, it's not the police's job to fact check them. All the police is required to do is take a report in. Okay, that being said, these may or may not be false allegations. Okay, and remember that. However, the filing of the police report, whether it's immediate or not, does change your outview or outcome of the case. Okay, so remember that. It doesn't matter what country you're in. So a police report doesn't necessarily mean it's true. What I'm saying, a lot of people say, well, if she filed a police report, it may be true, or he filed a police report, it may be true. Not necessarily, no,
No.
because a lot of going on. Okay, remember this is unbiased, meaning has nothing to do with this case, but there's a lot of people have gone to prison because of false accusations, which means again gone through police reports. So be aware of that. Okay, so
Okay, I want to make a statement from the regular guy. Sarah said further down that he actually did one, and he did. He did this immediately. Okay, so this is regular guy's statement. Foreign guy scammed her penniless. Okay, words skewed to prevent from being flagged because it's a sensitive topic. And then inside he says this video will be deleted because I don't want this channel to be about this. So he doesn't want to be about the drama, but the video is still up, by the way. 13 hours ago he put this up. It's important that we support this girl's channel and all the victims of foreigner scammers like this Scuba and his teacher. So I'm assuming when he says his teacher, I'm going to just say it out loud that he's allegedly talking about Geo. Okay. So again, these are accusations, and another channel, this other channel has actually not taken the video down, and he has put her video out. So I'm sure he has reached out to her, and that's fine that he has actually covered this. And again, we have not heard from him. And, it's really a serious topic either way. They have been officially invited. And like George said, the chances of them coming on and discussing it on either side, we get it. But as we said, you put your laundry out there, which, you've seen me go off on air. Okay. You've seen me and George have serious heated debates. And we seen the Campbell channel put their stuff out there. Rose put a bunch of stuff out there about his personal business, as how she takes care of him, his medical conditions, and all that. This woman has done the same thing too. So now it is in the public and it is out on social media. So we will, go through it and get, down to some nitty gritty. That's all.
no, nothing. Now that's the very bottom. Just so you know. Now, again, full disclosure. I have to mention this only because, again, now the audio you're gonna hear is edited only because we're not gonna sit here and listen to 30 minutes of audio because of if you watch the full video, she goes around in about way. If people are upset, they usually to tend to repeat themselves. So of course I had to edit the audio again, but not to a point of manipulation, just so you guys know. But again, this audio is edited, full disclosure. But again, it's what she says. Okay.
And it does look like the channel is merged. We thought it was. I don't know how she would merge his other videos and put them together. I don't know about merging a channel, but it does seem to have two different types of videos on there, his and hers, or she just renamed the channel. I don't know. So it could have been a renaming of a channel too. So there was a bunch of statements that they merged their channel or something, but it'd be as simple as having the original videos and then renaming it in her name. So, but okay, so we're gonna go through this for sure.
Right.
So,
You know when to
Yeah.
pause if you want to pause.
okay, yeah, I think we're gonna let
All
it
right.
run through before we say.
So
anything.
we're gonna play her audio. Okay.
Officially single. Phil messaged me last night that he told me that he cannot come back here in the Philippines anymore. So he just wanna be in his family in Chicago. So yeah, we decided to separate. It hurts me so bad, guys.
Be aware. She says we decided to separate. It's not he decided to separate, or I decided to separate, or he decided to break up with me, or I decided to separate. It's a we, which means it's both parties. Okay.
But what can I do, right? I just have to accept the fact, you know, tell you guys that he's a good person, you know. He offered me to support me still, even we break up already, and to pay this rent. But I told him he doesn't have to. It's just because so he can save money, and if he gonna help me as well to start over again. Yeah, of course. I can say that he's the best man that I ever be with, and I am so lucky, and Mercedes so lucky as well because
Okay. Now, bear in mind, she says that he is the best man she's ever been with, and basically they're so lucky to basically they've been lucky to have him in both their lives. Okay. These are not our words. These are not Heidi's words. These are her words.
he's the best dad, you know. And everyone says we are so happy together. Yes, we are so happy together. That's true. It's all real. He always be part of me and always be Mercedes dad. Phil asked me a second chance to give him a chance again.
Okay. Also, in this video and the audio clip says basically now in the same video she kind of did a turnaround where she says you heard it that she's willing basically to give him another chance, and then later on she changed her mind, which again she's entitled to.
Phil is always be the best dad for Mercedes. I guarantee you that, hopefully, and I wish.
She said that he was the best dad for Mercedes. Remember, these accusations came way. In other words, whatever happened, it happened a long time before this statement.
And
so,
her
which was
word,
7-8 days
yeah,
ago.
and I quote, I can guarantee you that, which are heavy words. These are not things that you normally say. As they say in Hispanics, like most Hispanics I've dealt with, la garantía is a guarantee. You know, it's kind of like a word of honor, is a bond.
The best for you, Phil, and appreciate what you have done to us. Everything you help us a lot. You help us a lot, and I do really appreciate that.
Okay, so that's the first clip. Now you heard her say that she appreciates everything. He has helped us a lot. Again, he's the best dad, guaranteed. He was the best man she's ever been with. Okay. Now these are what she says in the first video. Okay. So again, just put everything what she says on the on, I guess, on the back burner, as it were, and then we'll go to the second video. Okay. Now, obviously, this second video was, I believe, was filmed probably about 3 days later or 2 days later, or
Which one?
the next one, because
Oh no, that was
Well-
1 second. You're talking about the time frame of the next video.
yeah, because those go after it.
Are you
actually.
talking about the date or the American Scam one?
Well, yeah, the American Scam one.
That was a day ago. That
No,
was
no,
20.
no, no. I'm talking about after the first video. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
No, I wasn't.
One
saying.
was 7-8 days ago, and the one she produced after.
Right.
There was a date one. The date one was also. She released
Right.
both those videos.
Which
within
means that this
within a few
video was
days.
released after, way after the first one, after there's been a reconnection or attempted or lack thereof. Okay.
My channel to give us some money to go out for dinner with Mercedes and I, so we can enjoy our life here. Phil access my PayPal account, and I received an email that he transferred my money from my PayPal account to his account.
Yeah. The PayPal account showed a $50 amount, but it did say his name, although it said Scuba. Without passwords or it belonging to him or her, maybe they shared that information. So it looks like in the first video, there was a bunch of support, and I don't know, I'm kind of stuck on that one. But they're on her page, it shows it's his name on there. Again, I see a bunch of people talking about merged accounts, and there can be multiple accounts on one YouTube thing. And I don't know why he would have an account and she would have an account and then merge them together when they're not married on one YouTube account. I could see if it was like George that started 2 or 3 other channels and then he put it on his. So I don't know about how merged the accounts were, but I guess that's besides the actual point. The other one is the PayPal account, and she's showing one amount. She doesn't show a balance. She doesn't show, but she did show $50, and then it showed his name. So yeah.
After that, he blocked me already when I confronted him. And then even his daughter called me as well, that he tell me a lot of bad stuff, and I've been so nice to them. Honestly, I don't want to disclose any bad stuff about them or about our relationship, but I have to do it.
Okay. Now she says, remember what I says about airing out laundry, okay? Now, she's the person airing out the laundry. Now, in her own exact words, she feels like she shouldn't, but she has to. Does she? That's a serious question. The reason why I say that, for the most part, if it's legal matters, airing it out in public is actually the worst thing you can do. Okay? And anybody who knows anything about legal proceedings or anything like that knows that. Okay? It's not a popularity contest. It's not. It never has been. Legal matters is never a popularity contest when it comes past the courtroom.
It's just because I really need your support, guys. It's just because he promised me that he gonna pay all the bills here and pay our ticket back home. But how?
Now, to clarify on that, on the first video, it probably played while we were doing with some audio here. She actually, Scuba Chef says if she could support her when it comes to rent and some other things. And she actually says no. So Scuba Chef said if he wanted to support her, and remember, this is her own words, and she says no. Okay, so now she's basically saying he's not supporting me now, but guess what? She did say no. Now, this may not seem important to some of you people. However, remember, no is no, and nobody's going to force themselves on whatever they offer you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. If, let's say, Heidi fixed me food and I say no, I have no right to be upset with her if later on I'm hungry. Okay.
Yeah.
Can he pay that now if he blocked me? And what happened, our relationship is, this is the beginning. When my sister from Korea come visit us here, my sister said that he's a good father. And then he just so selfish. He drinking every day, smoking, you know, he only care about himself. But yeah, I stayed with him. It's just because I do understand that probably he gonna change in the future. That's what
I had to pause that because honestly,
If somebody's already got those habits, allegedly,
well,
then they're not going to change them.
one, yeah, they're not going to change them. Two, that does not make a bad person. I mean, drinking and smoking does not necessarily make them a bad person.
Kind of like George knew I was a bitch in the beginning, so no surprise when I pop off sometimes. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, yeah, I mean,
True. I mean, people's stripes don't change, not normally.
in fact, actually, and again, I'm not trying to.
And it may seem all fun and games in the beginning when he's smoking and looking cool and drinking a few drinks at the beach. And it does look like these guys had a good time, according to their website, their Facebook. When I say that, I mean Facebook and their YouTube and everything. Looks like all things were merry until this actually fell apart. It's
Right.
everything looked good.
And
on
remember,
paper.
one man's vice does not necessarily make them evil. What I'm saying is, one person may find smoking 420 okay. One person may find drinking alcohol is okay. You guys get my point. It's does not make a person necessarily evil. Okay.
Right.
I'm thinking. So I put out all his crap. I don't really care about him anymore. I only care is he has to pay all his bills here. The biggest thing that I want him to pay.
Okay, I noticed, and this is the first, George saved this video. The fact that she said that she doesn't care as long as he pays the bills. Mind you, the first video to me reminds me of Scorched Earth. She's telling his business. I'm single. She shows all of her, even in her thumbnail, she shows a bikini, I believe a bikini photo on that one. So I'm single. She wears glasses and kind of sounds tearful. Then here she is less than a day ago. Now, maybe she recorded this 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and been doing things. But the fact that she said, as long as he pays his bills, that one thing I keep hearing over and over again is how she's financially devastated. So, yeah, so we'll kind of still go through that.
And this will come into play later on, and you guys will see. And some of you who have watched this video will eventually yeah, I noticed that too.
Is his cell phone, because he uses my name to loan a cell phone, because he cannot loan a cell phone here in the Philippines, right? Because he's a foreigner. So I allow him and agree with him that he can use my name so he can have a new cell phone. It's just because his new old cell phone, it's still okay, but he threw it away. So of course, it is mashed on the floor. Don't ever date someone who is have mental illness, He's so crazy.
Oh.
He's a user. It's just like he used me and left for nothing. When my second sister, my older sister.
Okay, now at this point, I believe I didn't edit anything from this point to up to the end of the subject, and the reason being because I wanted you guys to hear the whole thing with no editing, which means I did not manipulate it or in any way. The audio at this point, to a certain extent, is unmanipulated, and well, she did do some edits on her own, mind you. If there's an abrupt thing, most of the time it's actually her editing because she did edit her video.
She did edit. And one other thing, I want to mention a few military people, including one of our members, gave us an idea. Phil is ex-military, and we thank him for his service right off the bat. Supposedly, allegedly, he's disabled and he's collecting a possible pension. As we're to understand, that probably consists of a few thousand USD, and it does look like they're out doing vacations and doing a lot of things and taking care of the daughter. They look to be middle to upper class here in the Philippines and doing their thing. Again, we're going by her current Facebook, his current Facebook, people contacting us, and her own account is what we're actually going by. So, but it sounds like he had money, so I'm sure his pension's way more than ours and we get by. We wouldn't be asking, we wouldn't be like, hey, I need a phone to somebody if we've already got partial income, unless it was really bad. But later, and I don't know if it's up and coming, she also mentioned she dropped out of school. And she does put a blame on him on this also.
Now I edited that out because, again, but just real quick. Now, she dropped out of school. Now, for reasons we don't
Mango
know.
Shake.
We don't know why she dropped out of school. I'm not sure if it's financial or if it's because she wants to spend time with family or she just doesn't want to do it. Again, that part I left out because, again, we don't know. We don't know. I don't know. Heidi doesn't know. Most of anybody in the YouTube world doesn't know.
Yeah, Hillbilly Asia further down said it's that 1,200 USD Army vet disabled, but we heard it could be 3,000,
3,500.
Yeah, remember that's a high estimate,
actually.
but I'm sure that it wasn't just at a 1,200 mark. Not going.
No,
to all
no, no.
these
I'm sure it's not
places.
just
He had to
1,200.
have
No.
a different income than actually that, but. I don't know if anybody in the community that's in here now knows anything about Geo and
Well,
him, what the
personally,
falling
yeah.
out is. Right. Well,
Yeah.
people could have seen him and, allegedly what happens to let the room know. So, and guys, by the way, we do appreciate everybody commenting and coming into the room today. Just make sure that you guys do a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this video before you leave. But we do welcome everybody. And thank you to our members. Our Philippine journey is in the house. Barry and the PI. Ted, thank you for moderating. Scott, Hector Gubert is in the house, and California Bear and others. And we'll address you guys here in a few minutes. We're almost done, and we definitely want to get into the skivvy nivvy here. Hey, Dallas, hello.
Come here and visit us as well. When I wasn't home that time, so only 3 of them here. And my sister told me before she go home that Phil touches private part. So, and then when I asked Phil, he denied it.
Okay, now.
Well, I would play. She finishes saying that she stayed with him, doesn't she?
Okay, now there's several issues I have here. And first off, again, it doesn't matter whether this allegation actually happened or didn't. Point being, if that was my relative, whatever, I will not, 1, mention them in public. 2, won't mention whatever happened to them in public. Okay? Remember, 1, it is a minor. It is a child. You do not put out their laundry for your interests. Right. Your child goes before you. I'm sorry. That's how it works. That's what parents' job is.
And if it is, I get that she says that he's left the country. All I hear from this Filipina is how her finances is upside down. And I get it's a big deal. But I will live on the street to hunt down that dirty dog that would have done something to my child. And if my sisters, okay, mind you, it's been 7-8 days already since her original video where she's telling, that he's gone and all that. So we don't know if this happened a year ago that her sisters told her this or whatever. you don't allow the man, regardless, you put up that fight. I'm telling you what, I'd have knocked his teeth out. That'd have been the bottom line for me. There would have been mob justice. I would have gathered every Filipino from one side of the island to another and did whatever I had to do to bring something down. And I sure the hell would have brought the police. So we get that people freeze up. I have been, the same thing happened to me when I was babysitting. The gentleman did the same thing that she's alleging, but 10 times worse. Okay. I can't say the word because of YouTube. And it happened to me when I was babysitting and I was under 14. Then it happened also when I was 11. I've got scars on my wrist because the gentleman, I had to try to get away from him. There was glass on the ground. I got cut up really bad. So in the middle of an act, it's happened to me twice. So this actually hits home with me, and nobody deserves that. But right now, in my opinion, personally, I told you guys I'd give my opinion. Both sides have major issues if this is what happened. And the mother is responsible for her child at that point, because as I'm to understand, that is not his child. I'm assuming
No,
this
it's
is
not.
a
It's not. It's
stepchild. They weren't
yeah.
married. They've been calling each other wifey and all that. But I don't see that they're actually married, nor has she said we are officially married. So it's a stepchild. So in my opinion, she is still responsible as that single mother dating a foreigner for her child. And look out, you make sure things aren't left to be chance. Whatever happened, she knew about it. And in her words, she stayed. So we're going to complete this video
Well,
out. And
let me expand on this more, because again, this is actually the critical point. And unfortunately, remember that Scuba Chef isn't here to defend himself,
correct.
or nor is she here to actually expand.
And
on
I
the
want to
subject.
let you guys know, once again, being there are more people in the room since the beginning, these are accusations, serious accusations that allegedly happened from a Filipina. Her channel is Rufina's Journey. We have put a link in there for you guys to make your own decision. She's put these videos out the last few days, 8 days ago, saying she was single and how he left her financially devastated. And we just started hearing about it in the last couple hours to last night. And the reason we are is, remember, when one person, like we have 20 people that surround our channel, we've discussed this. And I'm assuming now it's the regular guy that initially put out the video. We didn't know who she was. And a lot of people start contacting her. And then, as I just told you my story, it became something personal. But I'm lost for words at, the comments that have come through, the comments on her channel. To me, they appeared to be altered because there's nothing like questioning her. And why would she leave questioning comments possibly? You did notice that, right? All of her comments are, so sorry this happened and all this. Not one person is, we've been thinking, or any of our people have actually, like everybody in here is commenting the same thing, what if, and it's a very sad situation. So this is allegations. We have offered both parties to join. They've been both contacted through Facebook Messenger. That is working. She has been contacted through email, and I made a comment that was accepted because she hearted the comment on the actual update that she did some reports, but she didn't go into details what the reports was. Did she report that he didn't pay for a cell phone? Did she report that he took something from her? She didn't say totally what she had done. So we have reached out to him. So I just want to let you know that they've both been contacted, and just not an hour ago either. So.
Okay. Now, again, the issues with this allegation, one, again, remember, Scuba Chef isn't here to defend himself. Remember that, again, here, anyway. So, hold on, I'm trying to backtrack to where I was. because again, this is a serious matter. It's not something you guys can't just, you know, say stuff without thinking about it or constructing a statement. Now, remember, she put out her laundry about not just her, about somebody sensitive, which again is something you don't do, not to a minor. Okay, remember that. Whatever you do, don't do that. And also, the issue with this is the witness. Okay, now the witness is the sister. Okay, the older sister. The issue is not that the witness is the older sister. The issue is, some of you may or may not disagree with this. If the act was done in malice, why did it occur in front of the sister? If the act was done in malice, why did it occur on a sister that's not just a regular sister that stops by every day? This is somebody that randomly comes over. You know what I'm saying? This is a special event per se, that she doesn't come by every day or anything like that. Why did it happen that day? Why did it happen in front of her if it was done in malice? Okay. And next, the fourth point is, if it was done in malice, and if it is as serious as stated, why was this not reported during the time or right after the time of the incident? And okay, well, you know what I mean? Why did it now all of a sudden, out of the blue, now that he's gone, why is it coming out of the woodworks?
Yeah, because from what I'm to understand and gather is that this happened a while back, but she just dealt with it. And we'll get sides that'll say that she was scared, nervous, broke. And she couldn't have been that broke if she's making an accusation that she paid for all this stuff. So I wouldn't say that's why she didn't report it. And unless there was other allegedly, altercations with them, or, there's a lot of questions that have been left actually open.
Right.
So
And again, neither she or Scuba Chef have appeared. They both again have invitations. They both have links, and unfortunately, neither of them decided to show up. But again, that's fine, because again, we're trying to be objective as possible. As you can see,
which is
we're showing both sides.
somebody, Steve, further down said, I personally watched an episode of their channel where he got drunk during the video. My worry is if he did inappropriately things to her daughter, then he says he's pissed. My question would be is, why did she mention a while back in the beginning that she knew about it and then didn't do anything? That would make her just as guilty. And in the US, and I'm not even sure here, and I'm sure maybe other people know, in the US, they would actually
They'll pull
they
her
would
out.
pull the child for her
DCF will
knowing.
pull that child out, because the woman is just as responsible for not allowing it to happen.
And knowing it. So, which we're not saying that either side is guilty at this point, but if it is what it is, and this really all went down, then she's also in danger of doing all these reportings and all this stuff going down. And now she's made it public. And of course, these are now public, it's public videos. It's now being discussed. She evidently wanted it out there for other reasons. It looks like she's gaining numbers and views. It looks like she's gaining something financially, where people have sent her enough money to, I'm assuming, go back to Korea.
Right.
And there's a lot going on. There's a
Now,
lot of questions circulating.
Just so you guys know, okay.
Yeah, it says here, same here. The daughter would go to DSWD.
Yeah, we're trying to be as objective as possible, meaning we're not really taking sides. Now, if in your heads that we're taking sides, then there's something wrong with your perception. Meaning, police reports or going to police is no different than in the US. Police reports or going to the police does not. What I'm saying is these are time important documents. For instance, let's say you have a car accident. Okay, look, this is part of the subject. What I'm saying is I understand that we're talking about sensitive matter, but as simple as a
Okay.
fender bender, you have to report it right away. Okay.
According to Terry Koss, and I'm just gonna put you out there also, he says that you are taking sides. No,
No,
we're not.
no, we're
And
not.
We're assuming
These are
because
time sensitive
it's
matters.
her that has put this out, and we only have her side. Okay.
Now,
And somebody also further up, I believe it's going by a little bit fast. Supposedly they're saying that I thought the story was her sister told her a couple, not a long time ago. Did you get anything out of the video that it was only a couple days ago? Let's just say the timeline, it wasn't 7 days ago. So she put a video out 7, 8 days ago and then put that out within the last 24 hours to people that what happened. And honestly, I could have sworn we heard a few weeks ago or a week or two ago that something did go down with the Filipina. But without an actual site, we didn't actually know till last night. But either way, it doesn't sound like she was saying a few days ago. You've listened to that video a few times.
well, like I said, we're only going by what she says.
Okay, well then I would play the video. And they've both been invited. So
told me that a little bit, so, and then feel, I think that's the reason why also, why you don't go back here in the Philippines, why you feel guilt, what you have done, and then he cannot talk to me face to face because he is scared to go to jail, I only want from him is to pay all his bills, all his loans, that he uses my name, and that's all I want from him.
Now, from the start of that accusation to even a little bit after this point, that part wasn't edited. What I'm getting at is,
all I
if
want
you
is
were
for
a
him to pay the
mom,
bills.
if you're a mom, you want justice done, not the bills paid. It would be the opposite. As a mom, okay, I'm not a mom, but if I were a mom, I'd be like, screw the bills. You know what? I want justice for my such and such.
Correct. And Terry, you can be as neutral as you want to be on that, and we appreciate that until there's evidence. Well, she's actually giving evidence, and that's what we're responding on. We said in the beginning that neither party has been found guilty. We're just going to make this a discussion. But we're putting out there what she's actually saying. She wants her money back. And as of the beginning of this video put out, she had not reported him. But she's now claiming, thanks to everybody's advice, she did report him. And that's fine. We're not saying that the guy is guilty. We're not saying that she's guilty. And we're just saying the story that's been put out there and the concern of our viewers and covering this. And I'm not going to feel where she's actually been, I'm neutral. I get that until the evidence. You're right. We're not the court of law. So that's
No, we're
for
not.
sure.
We're not.
Most definitely.
And no, it's not. It's not defaming either.
No, Howard
Because
King,
these
it's
are
not
stuff
defamation
that
by far.
one party said, and actually, we're not actually taking sides. So no, not by any chance. It's
Nope,
defaming now.
and- Nope.
I just want him to pay all his bills. It's just like, it's so embarrassing, but he's a big liar.
It's embarrassing. Guess who decided to mention all of that?
Terry says you are wrong. You would want both. That we would, I'm assuming, the money and it to be done. But this didn't happen 8 days ago. And even if it happened 8 days ago, why didn't this all get reported 8 days ago?
Well, first off, it didn't happen 8 days ago, but she did
Even
allow
if
it
it
to
is
happen.
8 days ago.
Victim
but
or not.
She knew before he left, and she has not stated when he left. Okay, that would be a point that it happened. she knew before he left. He was still in her household when this
Yeah,
all
and
came
in
up.
the U.S. again, they would basically have an investigation done on her as well because she basically, did not report it.
Mm,
Yeah, and also,
I
yeah.
just want to get over it so we can go through.
He's a user, you know. He's a scammer. He just uses me. All I want is just to pay his bill, that's all. Guys, if you give me some help, I do really appreciate it. Just because right now, I don't have any money left to buy our own ticket now because he gets all the money from me also. So yeah, all I want him, if he's watching this, all I want you to do is to pay all your bills and all your loans that you use is my name, you know. It's your responsibility. Don't run away with your responsibility as well. One more thing that you have to know, everyone, because you always run out of money, so I have to do ask my family, you know. I always ask my family almost every month. I ask them to help us just because I don't work, as you can see. I'm taking care of my daughter. So just because you're always drinking every day, always smoking every day. So yeah, he always ask me to borrow money from my friends as well. And then at the end of the day, he don't pay them. I have the one to make way to pay them, so I have to ask my family to help me to pay my friends. Just because right now I am so done. I just want you to pay all your bills. That's all you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's something amiss because according to her Facebook, they've been doing nothing but vacationing, and we don't know if she's working or why he would be broke.
Well, she
or
says she's not working, according to her.
Oh, okay, she just said that. Okay. Um, a lot of things going on in there, guys. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So again, we're presenting to you what. Bear in mind, again, most of this is what she says. Okay. Now it's up to you to discern whether, again, it's not our job to. We're not judging neither parties, but there are questions that are brought up on both sides. Unfortunately for Scuba Chef, if you're watching this, you probably, again, depending on if you have some legal team behind you or anything like that, if you do, the thing is with legal matters as serious as this, usually a legal team will advise you to zip it. Okay. Because whatever you say on social media is usually detrimental to the case, whether you think or not it's helping your case. And this applies in the US and in the Philippines. Remember that. Again, if you were the way Philippine law is somewhat similar to American law, and I'm being specific here. I'm not saying Western law. I'm talking about American law because I'm more well indoctrinated in American law and Philippine law versus Australia or London, or Britain, as it were. What I'm getting at is, as a general rule, you don't blather out your case in public, much less any abuse in public, because one, it's detrimental to your reputation, your whoever's in and whoever else is involved in the case. Okay, just remember that.
We also have you have the messages.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the messages. Which one?
Yeah, I would just show the other one. We already put the
This
other
one?
one up. We already put that up.
Also, this one.
Right.
Okay, now this one I'll probably read aloud. Now, reading it, you can probably tell this is actually an old message. It's not a recent one. Because this looks like an early on in the relationship. This is a message sent by Scuba Chef's daughter. Okay. We did
And
blank out certain words.
because supposedly the allegations were it happened to her too. So she was wanting everybody to see that it was alleged that he had done this before to his own child, or she's older now. She's an older adult. So, yeah.
Okay. So it says have fun marrying to a bleep. Hope you guys get money you need. Okay. My dad won't even take care of me. You think he's gonna be there for you? Come back to me in a year, which actually, ironically, this is about when it was. Um, when his kids, just like he tried to do me and his brother did to me. You wonder why I can't have a relationship with him. Have fun though. Hope the money's worth it. And then he called her an expletive name. And again, this is not a recent message. Actually, this is somewhat, again, like a very old message. You can tell from the wordings, like, you know, um, but in the video, if you guys pay attention, in her own words, she says that this happened, and then his daughter messaged me, and then she puts up this message. But you can tell just by reading the message yourself, it's not a message that was sent later on. It was sent earlier on, during early stages of the relationship, only because of certain wordings were used. Okay. Now, again, that's up to you to decide too. Remember that.
And we're gonna go through.
All right, we're gonna go through the comments now, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys. Um, California Bears 619 says this is a topic every vlogger right now. Who is this guy, and why did he just bail on her like that? Now, there is no definitive reason why he bailed. Neither him or her has said a reason. Okay, so I'm not even gonna try. I went back and started watching from the very first video. Seemed like the beginning of any love story. I saw trips to Thailand, moved to Palawan. That part bothers me most is okay about
real quick, our Philippine journey further down addressed us direct, and hi, Mike and Arlene, said, is it possible there could be a case against her for not reporting it immediately? According to law, that's what would happen. Definitely in the U.S. here, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with
negligence.
DSWD. Yeah, that
That's
she,
negligence.
even if, like somebody said in here, that it was just, even if it was, the soonest we seen her is about 8-9 days ago saying something. So even if she delayed it by 8 or 9 days and knew it, we know that can't be the case either, because she said that, it was when her family was there, and when, and I can try to see if I can pinpoint that, because she did show when her family was there. Her family did come in from Korea. So she knew about it when the family was there. So
Yeah, and I believe she's half Filipino, half Korean, I believe. I mean,
yeah.
just saying. Remember what they say is the triumph of evil is when good men do nothing. And that's what basically this means is when people, again, doesn't they don't have to be the victims. It could be, again, the sister that saw this. Technically, the sister is technically responsible to report the said incident, just so you guys know. Because if she saw it and it did happen, okay, if she saw it, if it did happen, she is technically supposed to report it. Okay, she doesn't even have to be the parent.
Yeah.
Okay, again, for evil to triumph, good men, basically all good, all that needs to happen is when good men don't do anything. Basically, whether they allow it, don't report it, and so on and so forth. Comanche Warrior says about the daughter, the girl confirmed the incident. She didn't go straight to the police. It's all about the money and bills now. I'm very interested on your guys' opinion. Yes, again, that's a major concern for anybody. Okay. Racer X says kind of creepy, messing with the girlfriend's daughter. Then again, two sides to the story. Remember what I said at the start?
Yes.
It's always a he says, she says, and somewhere's the middle. Um, Unfortunately, we don't get his side at all, which may either maybe again we don't know. Manny C says she made a breakup video 6 days ago, talked about being friends, and she was a great stepdad. Yes, we did
Yes, she
establish that at the
did.
start of
Yes,
this
that she
video.
said that.
And now she comes up with a new story.
The
Correct.
drinking,
It's
the
a 360.
smoking, the mental right. So again, we don't have, we are going by her own account. And that does not mean by any means that we're picking on her.
Right. Manny C says if I were him, I would download that first breakup video ASAP.
It shows a couple weeks ago. It shows
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I met my Korean wife's family. Now I'm assuming that's possibly from 2 weeks ago. But even if it's been 2 weeks and she knew about it, we don't know if it was that's when things started to go south. Maybe accusations were made then, possibly, and then he left again. We don't know. There's a lot of possibilities to the situation, but according to this, meeting my wife's Korean family was 2 weeks ago video. Now I'm doubting that they edited that video right away. Usually for a vlogger, it's a couple days to a week, sometimes to put out content. So I thought I'd mention that too.
Yeah, and California Bear says I know it wasn't until he blocked her. That's when she did the 360. Alfredo Sloan says I think he did something and ran. Hi, this is Dave. Oh, sorry. This is again.
Looks like you're on your way.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
That's good to hear that. Hi,
Yes.
Dave. And again,
You're
unfortunately,
landing in Clark.
because of the seriousness of the subject, we'll try to stick on the subject.
Yeah, and we'll be live.
yeah.
We're live three days a week. So our next live will actually be like our regular, where we go in and answer questions and have a topic. Will be Saturday, Philippine time.
Yeah, and again, normally we do read through the comments. However, due to the severity of the subject, again, we're going to stay on target because again, this is important. We're trying to make sure that both sides get a fair shake.
Yeah.
Kiwi Man says naughty man he is. Alfredo
morning.
Sloan says he is on the run.
And again, for those that are joining just at this moment, we did invite both parties.
Yes.
And she more than ever.
And right now, no, I just checked. They're
to
not
make sure
there,
she's not in there. Yeah. Because there's a waiting room for people that
It's
come
called
in
a-
on
yeah.
the live stream.
There's a green room.
And we actually contacted her in 3 ways. One, she acknowledged us about, hasn't been 24 hours yet, but yesterday evening, she acknowledged our message because we did not see an email. Then she was emailed this morning, and the same message was sent by messenger to both of them. So they're both aware whether they respond. We didn't get blocked. We didn't see a rejection. So in multiple ways, she's been contacted. And so we were kind of hoping she would want to come on and discuss,
Yeah, the
you know,
messages
openly.
were read but not responded to.
Right. So
Liberian
Good.
and Filipino wife in the Philippines. Hey, Liberian, I think she should contact the NBI in the Philippines, and then the NBI will inform the FBI in the States for investigation.
yes.
Our Philippine journey, Mike. Hey, Mike says, I want to hear both sides of the story from them both. And Scott says, I agree, Mike. And again, in all fairness, again, we are only hearing one side. Okay. Alfredo Sloan says he touched a child, go after him.
Because we had never heard. The only time I ever knew anything, I didn't know anything about her. Again, the reason why so many of us are in the same group is because when you watch one person, 20, 30 other vloggers will be shown. There's a group of people like, you know, like Paul, Sunshine Shorters, Geo, Filipina P. All these come up in our feed constantly. So in Geo's feed last year, we seen where he came up. I don't know if they were supposed to start a restaurant. I don't know what kind of falling out there might have been. We heard there was some sort of falling out between him and Geo. We don't know, but I could have sworn they were talking about opening up a restaurant together.
Right.
And so in saying that, that's how we have he actually come into our feed since then. We haven't heard nothing from the dude until she just put this out here. So this is
Right.
new. Once.
Oh, we just got a message checking. All right. So, our Philippine journey says we haven't heard from them both. Hi, Sarah. How you doing? Now, hi. This is Dave. Says regular guy blames Gio on the scuba chef guy for leaving Rufia. Now, I don't care who says, whatever. When it comes to relationships, you can't blame anybody, honestly, other than the two people in the relationship. Okay. Um, the only reason why a couple would break up is because there's some issue between the two. No third
So-
party would cause a breakup. I mean, unless of course the third party is like somebody who got, involved literally with the one of the people in the two parties.
You don't have
Okay.
to mention who it is. You can say what the alleged thing is. So they were supposed to get married allegedly per Geo video.
Well, like I said, I don't think they were,
Right, but that's saying allegedly they were to get married. So,
mhm.
or he wanted to.
Yeah.
They talked about merging it. I would skip that. Yeah. Yeah, we already answered that. Da, da, da. We don't know what part of her's Korean, according to her videos.
Well, no. I'm saying she looks half and half.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but she did mention that's where she's going. So
Yeah, she looks
supposedly
half and half, yeah.
she has accomplished her ticket. That's for sure. And I want to let you know that her community page, there was nothing for months, and then this came up about her being happy. 2 months ago, she showed some food photos of his food, and then this video came up 2 days ago. Loving yourself is the best thing you can do. It looks like she's at a salon. And then she came up with photos where she said she went out on a date, which to me was, the typical, I'm just going to say the typical bait video where it looked like she was out on a date, but it was with her daughter. And then in saying that, she went out, well, the same night, looks like she put out a video stating that he took the money that was given to her for the dinner. And then 16 hours ago, we did read where she said, again, I'll repeat it. Hello, everyone. I filed a complaint against him already, and I've gathered all the evidence. I have shown to authorities so they make a report from my statement. Okay, so that they made a report. Been to the police and immigration here. Thank you for all your support and cheering me up. When arriving to Manila, we'll report him to immigration. So, been to police and immigration here. She says when she's in Manila, she will. P.S. Thanks to all your support, she was able to book her ticket. So it looks like, all the support has actually been coming in, and all the comments, all the comments in here is, the community stands by you. I'm glad to hear that you're doing things correctly. Be strong for your daughter. I'm pleased to hear that. At the end of the day, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and know you did the right thing, you should feel good and at peace in your decision. A response to that would be, for me, honestly, I would have done it sooner. I would have put a report out sooner. Maybe she has her reasons. We don't really know. Again, it's an open discussion today. These are all thoughts. Everybody is point on. Good for you, good for you, good for you. All of them is a good for you. And usually in the community, you will see where somebody says, they're defending the American.
There's
but we don't
usually
see
something that would go
all
against the
prayers,
video.
not
if,
one.
If you see everybody going with the person, then odds are there's something amiss.
Off on the so everything in there is giving her positive vibes, which I would, it's the child that I'm concerned with, and the relationship, and there's a lot going on, guys. There's a lot going on.
Ted Dangan says no, she wants to work in Korea again. She is from the province. ZJ, okay, now this is a very important point. Now I'm not saying this applies to this particular instance. However, this applies in every country there is. I broke up with a Pinay once. She made crazy allegations about me to everyone, including my family. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean they're Filipino or
It happens
whatever
everywhere.
nationality they are. You will get this. She made crazy allegations about me to everyone, including my family. It
Yes.
blindsided me how evil she was. It caused me health problems from stress.
And we don't know. There's a lot of accusation. Think about it. If she says he's crazy and drinking and all those things, we don't know what's going on both sides. It'd been really nice for him, but I understand him not putting his business out there. But definitely, she did. That's for sure. So
Ryan says she said her family's from Cavite. Wandering Explorer says she
Cavite.
says she's going to Manila to live with her family. Her sister lives in Korea. We all know that there are two sides of the story. So offer an open invitation. No, do
we
you
did.
have
There was
both? There, yeah. Up until we close this live, they can
and we sent
essentially
this
jump
out.
in and
Correct.
talk.
And there is. So we're in contact on Messenger with both of them and an email. And we'd be more than glad to run another one if she wants to come on. She is aware of us as of about 7 o'clock. Our comments are in there, guys. It shows where she did the thumbs up and a heart. So she definitely acknowledged us. So if that wasn't there, or she deleted it, then we know she read it. She's read it. I gave her the email. She's aware of who we are. And I'm just saying that the invitation is there. This isn't like we just like closed the book and didn't say anything. And again, I want to remind you guys, with me being an American expat female living in the Philippines for a few years, George is a Filipino citizen that has his opinion also and presenting things. And he's a citizen here and born and raised here. So for those where we've heard, and I'm just going to say it, I know it's it is what it is, that he's not. A lot of people are like, oh well, George is on their mind. I'm not even going to go into that. But
Anyway,
you're a Filipino
what
citizen.
Sasham says, what I thought was odd was how Phil and Rufino just up and moved to Palawan.
When they did.
That didn't make sense to me. Vacation there, yes. Move there with a young child in school, no. Again, most parents most people who've had kids knows you don't normally move in the middle of a school term. Not normally.
I like that name, Peel the Onion Slowly. That's a cool name. Yeah. Brand Solution, hello. We've seen you in the communities on other channels.
Alfredo Sloan, why would he just up and leave the Philippines the way he has?
It's hard saying.
Hard to tell.
It's hard. There's nothing on his page. There was, post, and then there was a trail, but nothing up. So sure, there's always a.
Mike Ross says, interesting. So the accusations with the child came days after this video. Yeah, well, after the first video, right? Wasacham says all Scuba Chef videos I commented on are now on her channel with my comments and still intact.
They're saying So I don't know how the.
Mike Ross says, and the sister is the witness. Sounds suspect. What he's saying is, again, I'm not saying whether it did or did not happen. What he's saying is the witness is somewhat biased because it's a family member. That's what he's saying.
Right.
Okay.
And again, the timeline, guys, we've included her link to the channel itself, and you guys can go through and watch the video. Full credit to her channel. And neither party has been found guilty of anything. Charges have not been filed. These are accusations given from a Filipina. And it was 6 or 7 days ago that she says she's officially single, tearful, with glasses on. And then a day ago, best seafront restaurant, Port-au-Prince, she took her daughter. I guess in that first video, she kind of asked for money too.
Yes.
Okay. So she kind of asked for money and said things were bad. Then she goes to a salon and a restaurant and takes her daughter out, then claims this is a timeline that we can actually see that is in public. Then she makes another video on the same day, because they're all posted in the same day. All of it happened. Community post shows she went and had her hair done, shows that she went out, shows he supposedly drained the account. And then she comes up with the American guy scammed and used me. And then she, these are her words direct. So, and then the timeline shows that was exactly a day ago that she made these accusations and that he blocked her and what.
Okay.
You're thinking about the timeline?
No. To clarify about draining the account, she didn't say that in those exact words, but just so you know, it was $50.
Do you
Okay.
have the photo or I didn't include that?
No, you didn't.
Okay, that's
No, it's $50.
She put that in her video.
Now, to of course a Westerner, that's not much, but to a Filipino, it is. Okay, just so you guys know
about three.
what
Yeah.
the account actually had in it. It wasn't. It's not a
didn't show
lot,
a
but
balance.
again, to a Filipino,
It didn't
is.
show it as a balance. It shows all it shows is the amount,
Yeah.
and it doesn't show that it was a balance. Just had his name in the bottom. That's all. So about 3,500 pesos.
Right. Sarah Tyson says her next video is a total turnaround. Yes, from the first video to the other video, yes, it was a total turnaround. Yes. Our Philippine Journey says there's a lot of weird here. California Bear says I agree.
Ooh, snap. Richard.
Jeffrey M. Vlog says, interesting what the daughter in America said. She seems like a piece of work. Bitter a little, called her a yes.
And I'm going to go further down that Richard said to add to that, Scuba Chef's daughter is probably right. Her daddy is a scumbag and that Rufina is a 304. So I'm just like reading what has been said. So, and
anyway,
accusations. By the
ZJ
daughter.
says breaking up over text is common back home. Many ghosts too. Yes. Again, him being radio silent, honestly, is probably drove her into overdrive. Because certain people can't handle that. They can't handle getting ghosted.
Oh, thank you so much. Peel the onion slowly. It is an awesome name. Thank you so much. We will put that towards the keeping the lights on here at Philippine Antics headquarters. And we got to spay, and we're having a spay and neuter party next month. So that'll probably be when you do your 12-hour live. So we appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to have all 3 cats neutered here. We have 2 boys and a girl, the kitten, and we just had Cookie Face done last month, guys. And they actually do it here at the house. So I might even put some of that on air, guys.
Yeah, now
I'm going to have George neutered.
This is important. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. It's very important. Last Place Home says, I was in a relationship with a Filipino for years. She broke me up. Personally, I'm not going to post.
Yes, William.
It's personal stuff. Nobody's business. Yes. Try to keep your deep, dark, personal stuff, or as it were, dirty laundry, to yourself, only because...
Or you might end up on Philippine Antics.
Well, that's not it. Again, whether it's legal issues or not, it may be detrimental to your case.
That's true.
Or your reputation.
We said that.
Or your children's reputation. Remember, it always think past before you.
What was it we said just recently? Somebody had a case where they put all their information out there, and we're like, well, that probably just killed their case. Which one was that? Some other YouTube business out there. But anyways, either way, It actually is not good. There was another big vlogger, same thing. They put all their information out there during a case, and not good, guys.
Mike, no love lost in that for sure. Actually, I kind of disagree with you.
I think she still cares. It's in her eyes and heart, in my opinion. And
hell has no fury, a woman scorn.
It's usually when they're in love.
And again, like I said, I believe this is scorched earth. If nobody can have you, if I can't have you, nobody will. But I'm not saying that that's what's going on here, but there are some feelings there.
Yeah, you could tell they really look like a happy couple. That's all I can say is, when we seen them on their Facebook and their other videos, because we've been watching videos since yesterday and today, it's apparent that they were very happy. We get there are dark times. We told you guys that me and George are 100% not the perfect couple. We have bad days. We have good days. It's how you handle things. Breakups can be ugly and we get it. But when you involve the child and say these things are done, ducks need to be in a row with this situation because there are two countries involved at this
Yeah,
point.
in the first video, well, not
Maybe
the first
even mob
video,
mentality.
but
Gee whiz.
the earlier video, she did say that they were truly happy together, and it's real, according to her. Just saying.
I want to add one more thing. Watch the accusations here in the Philippines because your accusations, whether you're an expat or a Filipino, could cause that mob mentality. Let's say he makes it back in and the reports, aren't as tough as what people think they are. When he comes back in and may show up in Dumaguete or Cavite, a bunch of Filipinos do watch our show, her show, other shows. They're on YouTube constantly and social media. It's what they do. That's not good. Not good for him either. I mean, he sticks out like I do, like a sore thumb. He's tall. He's a heavyset guy. He's got a distinctive look. And if they think that he did something like that, that's not good. So it is something that everybody needs to keep in mind that when things are put out there also, it's another situation that, needs to be thought about all the way around.
Jeffrey M. Vlogs. Yes, we're telling last plane home. Drama, correct. Last plane home says don't post personal information. Suicide service story. Actually, don't post any personal information, period. Yeah. ZJ has a point here, and again, accusing your ex of being an alcoholic is common move on talk radio. Yeah.
Good morning, Moon
ZJ
River.
says, so I feel she's lying. She's ZJ is saying that according to ZJ, he feels that she's lying because she's demonizing the other person. Okay. Baron the PI says, Cedric, we are all retired. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, because he said something about where does everybody get the time to watch it. But remember, not everybody's searching. If you watch 1, 2, or 3 channels, let's say, again, you watch Geo, you watch us, you watch Old Dog, all those other channels will show up because there's 20 or 30 around him. It's the way the algorithm is pushing these items at you guys. So,
yeah.
Jezebel,
Jezebel says, you marry the person as she is, not as a person you think you can make him, her into. Yeah, do not. Yeah, you don't marry somebody because you can mold them into somebody.
And that would be a major mistake. I've been married a few times. George has been married a few times. And by that time, we both knew, that there's no way to change anybody. I like to do certain things. George likes to do certain things. He knows that I am a strong, outspoken woman, but funny and, like a Robin Williams half the time. And I've got an outgoing anxiety, high energy, outgoing position. And the same with George. He likes to joke around, but he has a lot of quiet days. He's been super quiet and does a certain routine. And it's been a couple years that we've been married. And he says, well, I do this every day. And I was like, you can't talk to me. And we kind of got into it a little bit. And then when you say something like that, it makes me realize that, yeah, you can't change these things in people. And that's a big change. A lot of them, we've heard on Facebook a bunch of times, they're talking about, oh, my guy drinks too much and he smokes too much. And these are things that are just not going to change. This is 20, 30 years worth of hard living. You're just not going to change.
Hillbilly in Asia. She lies. Used it for subs on YouTube. Jeffrey M. Vlog says she said he wasn't paying for much anyway. She was asking her family for money every month.
Yeah, we've seen that where she said that. But there were people that came through in messages and says that he is getting money. So once again, it's kind of conflicting information on how they afforded being she wasn't, said she wasn't working and not going to school. I don't know if her family actually paid for all their vacations and their moving and all the stuff that was going on. So,
Alfredo Sloan says this whole situation is bad. Now, just so you know, the thing that you hear is she brought up the phone, right?
Ooh.
No,
I was going to say Thad made a good point.
Right. She brought up the phone, right? Now,
Yeah.
Wasasham brings up another good point that somehow is not in the video, and this is important to know. I imagine her big expense is paying the brand new Honda moped Phil just barely bought,
A few months ago.
probably in her name.
Well, it would have to be in her name. The phone would be too at some point. Further down, Thad says you can take the chicken off the farm. You can take the chicken off the farm, but not the chicken out of the coop.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So, let's see. Are you at the? Yeah. I find it her tone about her daughter. I just need him to pay off the bills. What about your daughter? Mental health, if it was true. I don't believe her story on her daughter. There was no tears. And at that time, no report, which she only mentioned after she could mention she got the ticket that she's done the report and everything. So there have been where people have made that comment. So we hear you, Mango Shakes, and it's good to see you again. She's living off the expat till he got tired of her lazy. Mark Hammer, based on the video she did before the video, when she went off the deep end, I believe she is lying. She is fairly complimentary on the first one, but then the breakup, but then it's about money. Yeah, she kind of mentioned that in both of them. And we do appreciate you guys being here for sure. Make sure you subscribe for more videos where we do some expat help and cover topics and about the Philippines and the Pampanga, Angeles City, Mabalacat area, guys. So definitely subscribe. We appreciate it. Let me do a shameless plug here. Subscribe. Hey, K Dallas.
Now, this may or may not happen. Probably not. Watch this turn into a huge 180. He will come back to her. She will forgive, and he will deny all of her daughter's accusations, and they will claim the whole child is miscommunication, all for the subs. Well, odds are probably that's not going to happen, but it is a
It's
possibility.
always a possibility.
It is a possibility.
We've seen that happen. Yeah, it's. I think you guys all are also following the case. This is a separate instance about that mother that had alleged child abuse against her children. I believe it was called 8 Passengers or something. Years of vlogging, and it was rough parenting. And it turns out in the end, it really was allegedly abusive. And now they've arrested her and her manager. And I don't know if they're arresting the husband or did. But it's kind of in these situations, you never know. And remember, YouTube is entertainment. YouTube is about, talking about different things, the drama, the help, the travel videos. And in the Philippines, like no other place, have I not seen the way that people, the way they cover things and how tight the community is. And I don't know. It's really hard to say, but we do know there are channels that it's not really what's going on. It was more for an entertainment value. Most of them won't let you really know all the way in. And unfortunately, you guys know that we're the real deal. Not trying to put anybody off, but you've seen me pop off. So, but a lot do not cover the 100% situation. So it's hard to say, guys. That's all. You just reading through that.
Sun Moon says, okay, I have an issue dealing with this. Not because of Sun Moon. Sun Moon says Phil had mentioned in the past that he went to the VA medical to remove shrapnel from the body. The reason why I have an issue with this is because shrapnel is an immediate thing. What I'm saying is they remove all of that right after the incident.
Yeah. So
if he had to go to the VA, we're talking about some serious scar tissue growing around that shrapnel by then. That's why I was making that face, because that doesn't. Again, it's not against Sun Moon. It's if Phil actually said this.
Okay. Further down, Mark says, "How is Geo involved in this? Regular guy wants him to cancel his channel." I'm trying to figure out. That's usually not that's usually not regular guy's style. Usually, he's just traveling, complaining about the country, talking to the babaroonies and doing all this stuff. And he makes stories as he goes along and talks about things. To me, he's a good storyteller. He's been an up and coming person in the Philippine community for about a year now since he's arrived. And somebody further in the comments and what we've heard from other subscribers and other people is he's got something on Gio. We don't know. Every vlogger tends to have some sort of butting heads, problems, or things that go on in the YouTube community. We just found out just literally when Sarah mentioned it that he covered this story already. The same time she released her video was almost exact in the hour, down to the hour almost, that she released her video, and when she made the community statement, she got the tickets. That's when he released it. Sorry, when the community statement that she was able to afford the tickets, he's now saying support her channel, and I'm going to delete it, but the video is still there. So the involvement is I guess maybe possibly allegedly that he doesn't like Gio. I don't know. So
Well,
but Gio's involved because he knows Scuba and he knows
That's what
her.
I'm getting
They know
at.
each other.
The issue I have with that is it's obviously he has taken his
Personal.
side.
Yeah, personal. Yeah.
Okay, and again, it's not against Rugger guy. Everybody has their own prejudices and whatever, but we have tried to make this as objective as possible.
And both parties have been invited, so they could just both be equally at some sort of issue right now.
Well, remember what
What's
I
important
say.
is the child right now.
Somewhere in the middle.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Frank Ellis says if he's getting a pension and military disability, he's getting some good money.
Yeah, it's not. I don't believe it's at 1,200. I believe it's at 3,500, 3,200, and it should be enough to live on. So we don't get why he would be broke, but yeah, I already read that earlier.
Yeah. Last plane home says I just don't get past personal stuff. Ex-military gets 3,200.
Yeah. So it's
Last plane home, Scott in the World, as I see it, have mentioned somewhat a very similar bracket. Actually, we even have a chart for that.
right.
Well, Sachem says I agree with Mark. I think she wanted the money from Phil to pay off the bills. When he refused, she came down hard on her with him, I guess, with the abuse allegation.
We get that, but I could have sworn somebody had talked about it in our room. You know, some people will come in our live streams, which are several times a week, and they'll say, "Hey, did you hear about?" So it's kind of hard where I'm trying to remember where we heard that implanted. If it was a couple weeks ago they broke up, if it, there's no time frame. We don't know if she broke up. We don't really even have a time frame when he actually left the country. Could have been 3 weeks ago. Well, it shows 2 weeks ago she met the family, so it had to be after that matter. But we don't know what point. Well, remember, he could have left and she could have just posted that video. So it's kind of.
Well, Moon River makes a good point here. Moon River 77 says, if something happens to your daughter, in that very seconds, you will report that to police. Not go on live on YouTube, just my opinion. No, a normal parental reflex is not, again, to post a YouTube video about it. It's to go to cops. It's a normal parent's reaction. Yes, I agree. Our Philippine journey says you never put your kids' trauma in public. Never. No. Again, your kids come before you. Parents exist for their kids. Yes.
Right. And to actually, George made a point yesterday when we were talking, and I was upset that that saying that her daughter is a victim out in the open is not a good thought either. You had your theory on that.
Well, yeah, and the people are going to start talking about it. Like Easy and Chris says, she is more worried about the phone than her daughter.
Right.
The allegation is baloney.
Keep telling, remember other kids and other people and other Filipinos and other expats. And we know that there are allegedly a lot of bad guys out there right now that you guys all know what I'm talking about. And she's putting it out there that if it is everything she says it is, or not everything she says it is, saying that her kid was a victim is not good. It could leave her to be further victimized.
Well, what Heidi was saying is, I said something earlier, and what the best way to explain it is there's scammers out there, okay? Somewhat off subject, but it's the same principle. I'm explaining to you in a less sensitive manner, so that way I can talk to you about it in a lot more relaxed manner, and you guys something would get it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. For instance, you know those Nigerian scams that you get on email? If you get duped and you get scammed, you are a victim. Okay. So if you get duped, guess what happens? You go on a list of gullible people, meaning you're flagged as a victim. So all the other scammers in the air, it doesn't matter, all over the world, whatever, because remember, it's online.
You mean if I find out you've been giving your girlfriends like $100 to go get their nails done for the last 20 years, then you could become a situation that I can just get over on you
Well,
too for $100 a day?
anyway, point being is you become a target for all the other
That's
scammers.
what I mean.
Now, being somebody who's been assaulted in the past basically flags that certain person that, oh, well, they got assaulted and nothing happened to the person who assaulted them. That puts up a flag. Hey, easy target right here. So that's what basically what we're saying is you never ever like, hey, you know, here's my son. He can be duped. He's not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Go get him.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
just
That's
like that.
not what you do, especially to a minor. Yeah. And Brand Solution says, again, I agree 100% when it comes to kids. And also, Mango Shakes Philippine says, I fully agree. That's why I call her BS on her daughter.
And she might put a reaction video to this. She'll be well aware this video exists because we told her in 3 different places, on her page and email and messenger. So she might just respond to everybody's comments, and then we may do an update on this live, in regards to it. Re-invite her again.
Right. Our Philippine Journey says either she's wacko or it's drama. Both. The kids come before YouTube views and sympathy. Frank Ellis says I don't buy it either. Now, guilty until proven innocent. Obviously, that's sarcasm because he says he might just be scared. Both sides need to be heard.
Yes.
Again,
Agree.
remember, innocent until proven guilty. Remember
Yes. That's at the
Um,
very beginning. They've both been invited to, and we get it if he doesn't say anything because them are very serious accusations. You really wouldn't want to put it out there. So
yeah. Terry Koss says he's from Illinois. He's garbage, and I hope God deals with him harsh. Easy and Chris says it may be BS, but she can easily get a successful case against him through her government. We are not in a favorable environment. All they need is an allegation. Yes and no.
Well, I wouldn't be starting stuff with people here if there was.
Yeah.
And that is a scary thought.
I'm not gonna go into detail for a lot of reasons because again we don't know the whole story. But there is a process, believe it or
They
not.
do have a due process.
There is a due process, and
right. So I want to give you guys an example that defamation was mentioned earlier. Oh, she could have a defamation case. That's been mentioned before. And understand in a case like that, people think that they can just drop a report, they go to jail, and then that's the end of it. And what you looking at?
nothing. Just reading.
But they rarely process that kind of thing. Now, in this case, where these allegations have been made, there's a due process. Let's just say that a lot of people don't think that there's like law going around, but it actually does happen. What are you? You're still with a weird face.
No, I'm just reading.
Okay.
Life Advice Channel says it happens. Nobody believes the man. Hillbilly in Asia says she got mad, made Social Security, and VA got 4K a month easy. Brand Solution says I think he's responsible for his bills, even if they are in her name. The other allegations are strong proof. Would be good. Sarah Tyson says the second video seems coach in her own opinion.
And a couple of her videos, per her own word, she has asked for help from people, and they are her biggest videos. They are You know, it's and I could see I can see her point, but that kind of leaves the expat hanging too. And then there's a point of her daughter now, being out there, and
Right.
it's crazy.
Now, coach
in
or
a
not,
sense.
be aware that she's still, regardless of whatever was coached her, she's still responsible for whatever comes out of her mouth. Um, Mango Shakes Philippine says he may have unpaid bills. That believable, but the story on her child,
Yeah, it's
BS.
always
She just wants the
we
lifestyle and money.
we said that it can be expensive to live in the Philippines. If you have a $3,000 budget, 2, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you could have had a housekeeper, a driver, and everything else on that kind of money. Now the average income, it would take, somebody said the average income right now to live decently in Dumaguete is about 1,800 US dollars. Can't really live decently in the US on that, but 1,800 in Dumaguete. But before, you could have got by on that 1,000 budget 5 years ago. Not anymore. But you'll still hear people putting out those stories. And we say we average anywhere between 15 and 2,000 for us. So, but we have the cats, medications, medical, we're self-pay and all that. So, yeah. Are you talking about Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of don't get. I'll address that if that was towards me, because I don't see anything around that about what. Let me see. You don't have to put it up. WTF? Are you the Chicago Polish mouthpiece? And I don't get any of that accusation. So
Yeah, I don't think anybody understands in that room.
no,
Nor
not
does
any of
anybody
the
in the room
above. Yeah, no,
agree with you. I mean, again, we're presenting as objectively as possible. If you do have an issue with that, biased or
chosen
not,
one.
that's a personal issue. It seems to me on your part. Easy and Chris, and obviously you haven't been in our channel. One, we don't recognize you. The people in this room don't recognize you, and if you actually watch your channel, obviously you don't know enough about us on how we again present things.
We'll go up.
Easy and that's all she said. Easy and Chris, class is ace of expat, gets tired of Filipino, leaves. Filipina, oh, expat gets tired of Filipino, leaves Filipina. Filipina makes allegations to get him kicked out or removed from the country. Crowd mentality. If you can't have him, no one can. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. It's scorched earth, as I would call it. If I can't have you, nobody can. Oh, sorry, I didn't put that up. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Christopher Leroy says, "What about the text messages from Dude's daughter? That seemed pretty damaging." Yeah, so we did show that up. Yes. Wasacham says, "Some women, if they believe a man grossly mistreated them, they will move heaven and earth to get back at the ex, and labeling a guy a child abuser is about the worst accusation can make." Actually, that's another thing I always bear in mind, that somehow a lot of people, oh, what did the ex say? What did the ex say? No, the worst witness on anybody is the ex, because they have a stake in it. They're biased, regardless of who you are, what you are, whether it's Abraham Lincoln's ex-wife or whatever. The ex has a stake in it. They're biased. Period. Okay. Like what you just said. Mark Hammer. The reason why he made his statement is, again, normally a real mother, if something such an abuse happened, they would go to the police right away. Mark Hammer says she is either a liar or most unfit mother I've ever seen. Peel the onion slowly. Now, this is a viable question. Were the supposed text messages from Lydia legitimate? The only reason why there's some form of legitimacy to it is because the discrepancy to what she described and the text itself. According to context on the video, these are recent messages. Well, she didn't say that, but
no, and all of this is unsubstantiated.
Right.
All of
Correct.
this just comes from her channel. We're leaving this as a group discussion and open. Both of them
right,
have been
these are all
invited.
speculations, as it were. And again,
The same with the message.
she says oh, Steve left me, and I got a phone call from her sister, his daughter, sorry, his daughter, and then she shows up the text message, okay? Which means she's trying to put it up as it was a recent message. But clearly, if any of you guys can read it or did read it, will say, this doesn't seem like a recent message. It seems like an early on, good luck to you both. Welcome to your new life.
And I don't think she's. I hate to put it this way. In looking at her channel, it just looks like they vlogged on the occasion. She's not a serious vlogger for the money. There's an accusation that she quit schooling for him, and she's kind of putting the weight of her education towards him. And there's been a couple different things, but the she vlogged every couple days, looks like. Yeah, they were just in Port-au-Prince, according to about 12 days ago.
Frank Ellis says her fancy lifestyle is over. Smoothly says the good life is no more, so she is embarrassed. And Mango Shakes Philippines, again, I did mention this earlier. Why didn't her sister stop him? And why didn't the sister take the girl to the hospital and file a report? Correct. Because, again, even the sister herself, even though she's not the parent, has every right to do something at that point in time. Hillbilly Asia says Frank Ellis, amen. She's looking for a free meal ticket. Kay Dallas, hey Kay Dallas. It says exactly, my dear Watson. Okay. Izzy and Chris says one of our subscribers will be captain. Save her. She will be okay. Right. No. Somebody will pick up the pieces, as it were.
Yeah, I think there are already people, because every comment is from male subscribers, and all of them. There were a few asking for her PayPal, which is already on there. And of course, there's definitely going to be people that will, but I don't know. There's always going to be somebody. But I think that's anywhere in the world.
Yeah, anywhere.
I think even if it happened in the U.S. and the same story was put out, or any woman did, then it's to be expected. And yeah.
Steve Purrier says, I personally watched an episode on their channel and he got drunk during the video. My worry is if he did inappropriate things to her daughter, I am pissed.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Scott Underworld, I see it. Here's a chart that we were talking about. Hey, Scott, thank you again so much. Scott says VA disability rates, 30%. He's talking about the percentile is a disability percentage.
Yeah.
And then obviously the monetary amount.
The only thing that I can gather from the channel is it's only been her videos the last couple. All the priors say Scuba Chef.
Right.
And his name. I don't think they were merged. I think she started vlogging on the channel.
It's the same channel. Yeah.
I don't think I've never heard where accounts literally get merged unless you actually
unless you kill their channel and move whatever.
Well, you can move the videos over, but you can't. It's funny once you put it.
No, it's not. It's not YouTube norm. No.
I think it was his channel. That's why you're still seeing all your comments. And I just went through in the last probably 6 or her stuff. So I don't see where her stuff was on there prior and it was merged. So it appears to be she just started vlogging on there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Scott says,
same channel, changed the name. Hey, what's going on, Mike? Mike's Philippine Journey in the house.
Right. VA disability rates 30%. On the low end, it's 30%, $508. In the high end, it's 100%, $3,600, basically. Like Steve Purrier says, she renamed the channel. Yeah. Well, no, this is true. A lot of men get drunk on vlogging now.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's.
Terry Koss says, I'm inclined to believe her until I see evidence of the contrary. Please don't demonize victims. Now, here's the thing, Terry. We're not demonizing victims. Again, this is done in an objective manner. Be aware that there's no difference that a lawyer will talk to her and say the exact same things that I am talking to her
And
as
question.
well.
We're just
It's-
answering, going
right.
through, and
A lawyer's still going to say whether it's the persecutor or defendant. They will even the defendant, the one or persecutor, meaning the one on her side, will still say, "Hey, why didn't you report it right away?"
yeah, same thing's going to be said. And again, we're not going through anything more than she hasn't already put out there. We're not like ad-libbing things. We're not the ones in the discussion making the statements. We're reading them. And it's kind of it is an open discussion, and we said that in the beginning. Nobody's found guilty. It's kind of
Right.
like, it's kind of like people's court. Dun, dun, dun. These people have not been found guilty.
No, nobody.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, again, same thing, Terry. And again, it's
Yeah.
not against you or anything. It's this type of mentality.
There's always a few people that will come in, and it's understandable that you
what I'm
actually
getting at
would.
is, ever heard of the saying that in prison they say, "I'm innocent"? I tell you, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. There is a good percentage of innocent prisoners all over the world.
And let me tell you why that is. When people go to court in the United States, they are offered a plea deal. And as of right now, 80 to 90% take that plea deal. Why? Because even if you're innocent or guilty, if they take you to court and go through all that and you're found guilty, you'll get the 30 years, not 5. So they'll take the 5 and they end up in jail. So it's a very same situation. So these people, and we said in the beginning, are not, neither party is guilty. They have been offered to come in here. It's I'm not going to go through and explain why we do this on our channel.
I mean, again, remember,
it was just brought to
Terry.
our attention, and we live here in the Philippines. We're covering it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to be accused, keyword accused, of a crime, and then they'll go through with it, and then the
and it doesn't mean like we're supporting one side. And
No,
not the
it's
other.
not.
You got a Filipino and an American,
Right.
so we both have that. And I want to give you an example, and anybody can bite me on this statement. It's kind of like when we were discussing expat trash or any of the recent things that come up. They're like, "Oh, you're involved with them. You know them, and you know this person." And it's not true. Just because we discuss it doesn't mean that our channel is 1,000% nothing but drama and problems, and that we don't cover. People forget that things are covered good and bad on this channel, and it's what we do. And yes, it is what we do for a living, and it is part of our life here in the Philippines. So it's just part of YouTubing, and we are serious vloggers, and we've been doing it for years, and 1.5 million views it actually shows in a 3-year period. That, it's what we do. So I mean, we're not taking either side.
No, it's not a side.
We're equally given an opportunity. And again, I can't blame either of them for showing up, especially, if he comes on, think about it. He's not going to talk about that if that's the accusation. And she surely will probably not show up because she doesn't want to deal with what the people are saying, or the fact that if she's got income coming in from it, like literally people are sending her money, if she slips up, says something, does something, then it's not good on either side. So George said this morning, I was kind of hopeful, but George is like, more than likely neither party will actually appear. Sometimes we can get people to at least message us. And I'm sure what usually happens when we do these, they'll make a statement later. So.
Right. And again, Terry,
Terry,
again, I'm just letting you know, Terry Cost and anybody else in the room, again, be aware that it's not fair if the shoe is on their foot on you. If somebody accuses you of something you didn't do you want everybody to grab pitchforks and incarcerate you right away? No.
Yeah.
You have to be proven, you have to be innocent until proven guilty. Remember, it's easy for you to say that, oh, he's guilty or she's guilty if it's not you on trial. Remember that. No, I know, but it'll go down even.
No, I know. I'm checking.
Manny C says, if he is guilty, then she is guilty of letting it happen. Correct. Again, remember, both parties are involved at this point. Moon River 77 says, same here. The daughter will go to DSWD. Right. Basically, the DSWD covers a lot of things. It also includes, like, what DCF does. if it's still called that. I mean, last. I mean, they keep changing the names. Brand says, I thought the story was that her sister told her a couple not long ago.
Yeah, I already.
Yeah, okay.
Covered that.
Um,
Yeah, I don't.
Christopher Leroy. She did talk a lot about the money.
In my opinion, not enough about defending what she would have done versus what he owed her and how well the relationship was in all of her previous videos and how she showed things were fine. And then by a day ago, it was a total
Yeah. Peel the onion.
turnaround.
Yeah. Peel the onion slowly says you can't be inclined to believe, meaning don't be biased to either side. These accusations are in the midst of an ugly breakup. Again, during breakups, that's when the information is least accurate. Frank Ellis, her subscribers will save her. Yes, they will. Mark Hammer says, unfortunately, I've seen this happen to many men in breakups. The first accusation is physical abuse, then the kind of thing she is accusing him of. Yes. Um,
Brand new account.
yeah, brand new account. Yeah, it's probably not real. Jeffrey M. Vlog says, poor little girl, she loses her real father, and now this guy, she called him daddy, is now gone. She lost two dads before 10.
Yeah, it's very sad. That's the sad reality. She's a strong woman. She'll move on. She definitely has, you know, like ambition. And so I definitely give that to her for sure.
Right. Liberian and Filipino wife in the Philippines. Maybe it didn't happen in front of her sister, but maybe she saw him doing it. And again, regardless of how she saw it, the fact that she's a witness to it and she herself did not do anything to it
So family member
makes
allegedly
that
or,
witness responsible too.
So, yeah, that's it. Just you know, it just none of it sounds. I could not personally. This is where I'm gonna say me. I could not sit there on and tell the world that this happened and say, "Oh, by the way, George seen it," you know, and he knew about it. He knew these are just. I'm gonna make a story up that I saw that George knew that the neighbor kicked the dog, and you know his teeth fell out. Now I gotta go get him some false teeth situation. And George, you know, you can't add somebody into the story that allegedly seen it and you knew about it, they knew about it, and then it's like, well, then it makes a couple of people guilty at that point. It's in other words, she's saying that her sister saw or knew about it, then she knew about it, and then it's just I wouldn't be saying that on air in front of people.
Right.
That
The sister's
kinda
no
puts
more
the
innocent.
family
Yeah.
on
So
the spot,
basically, yeah,
too.
she's putting the whole family in the
Her and
spot.
the family, and now the expat community and her Filipino community. There's multiples.
And the reason why we say the whole family, because do you really think if this happened, okay, that the sister would just shut up after that? No, she's gonna tell mom and dad.
Right. So
She's gonna say, "Hey, mom, guess what happened when I was visiting? What's her name? And guess what? What's his face did to what's her face?
that does sound like a Rafi Tufo
You know what I'm
story.
saying?
A real Rafi
So
Tufo.
now the whole family, because not is she not gonna stop with the parents, she's gonna talk to the younger sister too.
You would have definitely wanted to deal with this with the police direct before any YouTubing on it. You definitely would have taken care of it. And you definitely, like somebody said, makes a good point. I didn't even think about it. I'd have possibly filed and took it to Rafi Tufo to get my money back. I wouldn't have brought it onto our own personal YouTube.
No, it's the worst thing you can do. You never vlog about.
So there had to possibly allegedly be more personal gain from it than getting down to the solution. You see what I'm saying?
No, I
Like
got
getting
you.
the cell phone paid, or there
Right.
was other things to gain, possibly allegedly, such as numbers, such as, you know, a little extra cash to help take care of her daughter. Who knows? But it could have been reported to all the above 7, 8 days ago. And then if she really wanted to put him on the spot and throw him under the bus, then maybe Rafi Tufo. I don't know. But it's, you know.
Well,
Mm.
if she goes to Rafi Tufo, she's definitely not going to get anything out of him. The reason being is because now it's a legal matter.
Well, I know. But even if he doesn't appear, what I'm saying is I wouldn't have, that serious an
And that would put
accusation.
her on the frying pan because
It put her on the frying pan
And
possibly
again-
now.
no, that's what I'm saying. Because she put herself on the frying pan.
Yeah, no. I
And
know.
her sister and her family.
And the community, because if he comes back and there is no stopping, whether it's true or not true, it's really going to mess with both parties at this point. So it kind of put like a bunch of people into a
Yeah.
damn, I'm in a tight spot.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm in a tight spot.
That's George Clooney, old brother out.
Yeah, we already mentioned that.
Hillbilly in the USA, American Filipino wife, YouTube channel. He gets drunk and smokes every time they have a vlog, which again, it's fine. He is basically technically retired here, and he's welcome to do whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned, as long as he's responsible. Well, Sachin says a foreigner really has no recourse for being defamed or slandered, do they? She may know she has free reign to say whatever she wants about him. Not necessarily, no. There's other well,
Well, actually, you can. Both sides do, depending on how much money you have, whether you want to file, whether.
yeah, and
But most these days, unless there's a personal vendetta, even big celebrities, there is still a level of filing and whether you want to deal with it or not. So whether you want to fight it or just say, hey, I don't feel like sitting in court for 12 days or 18 days or years, defamation is a very hard case to prove, almost an impossible thing to prove. And when you do, you have to have proof of all that, like how long it stayed up, how long, and this back and forth slandering. They just don't prosecute those cases in both countries. Can it be done? The answer is yes. It's just a long haul and very expensive. There's this YouTuber currently, a big YouTuber that's actually being trolled in cyber libel situation. And in saying that, the guy's been trolling him for like 6-7 months. And in the end, it's costing the guy, he hired like 5 different people, different attorneys, different things going on. It's cost the guy thousands and thousands. The guy's in debt like by 60 grand right now just to try to fight it. And it's because somebody was trolling him and things were going bad. It's just crazy. It was over one video. But still, it's still in limbo and he doubts it ever anything's ever done. And he's just going to have to just totally drop everything. So it's crazy. Money, expensive, and time is what it would actually take for that or anybody. Just, it's a matter of how, you want to wind it down and everything. So.
right. Jeffrey M. Vlog says that quick to introduce a new guy, serious flaw in her character. Chosen One says smoking and drinking is not legal. No, it's not illegal, nor is it wrong. Yes, only if you neglect your responsibilities. Terry Cost says I am biased, I admit. Moon River says, yeah, especially about the medical for her daughter. She should bring the daughter for medical urgently to be checked for
Yes.
everything and have
And
to
you
record
would
file
have to
criminal case.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Actually, I was going to go this way, but since somebody brought it up,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a really hard. I was telling you guys, those that didn't hear in the beginning, I was the R word twice, around 11, around 14. One was by the guy I was babysitting for. His wife went to bed. It happened to me. And when I was 11, the newspaper guy did the same thing to me. And I got injured during that one. And so this kind of hit home with me. They're very serious allegations, but here's the thing: without being taken to a doctor, and I didn't say nothing to anybody for a long time. The one that happened when I was 11, without doing something within a few days, some of those cases do get overlooked without a medical exam and any proof on it. And unfortunately, now that she's told the world, you can guarantee people DU recorded our video, they DU recorded her stuff, they DU recorded the regular guy. And there'll be people out there that, this is really going to be rough at this point that she's not come forward and done that. So right now it's just damaging statements to his reputation, her reputation. It's a he said, she said, and the child's in between. It's very sad. It's very disturbing. We got contacted by quite a few people. It wasn't even in our realm of watching. We'd never We had only seen, I call him Scuba Steve. I don't know why I like that movie, but I call him Scuba Steve. That I only seen him on Geo's channel, and I haven't watched Geo for quite some time. And that's the only time we've seen him until a bunch of our people are like, hey, this is what's going on. And I'm like, wow, that's a big deal, to the expat community and to the Filipinas. And, I'm disgusted and outraged at one hand for the possibility of how expats come here and treat, Filipinos and Filipinas. And then on the other hand, we know that, and this is no accusation on her, a 304 is a 304, or somebody acting out that's acting crazy or telling lies or scorched earth happens here, happens in the United States, happens in Canada, happens in Italy. It can happen anywhere. The Middle East, it doesn't matter. It still happens. And our live yesterday was telling people to wake the fuck up, because things happen here too. And it's very disturbing that people think that their lives change when this is going to happen. And it'll happen more so here because guys can quickly move on, or girls can quickly move on, or the Filipina can move on. So it's
Actually, thank you for bringing up the Middle East. Again, I'm not being racial, or I'm being as impartial as possible.
oh boy.
There's something called due process. Due process, again, innocent until proven guilty. Now, unfortunately, in the Middle East, they do carry mob justice there, meaning stoning to death still exists to this very day. The reason why I brought this up, there are a lot of people who have been stoned to death because somebody accused them wrongly.
Well, the mob mentality is what I'm telling you.
Yes, they will grab that person, male or female, doesn't matter. If they're accused, they will drag them out into city square and then stone them to death.
And they do
Happens
it here
to this
too,
very
guys.
day. Okay, so that's why, again, we implore you, do not pass judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. Brand Solution says, I think smoking and drinking is irrelevant. She's obviously new or
And
should
that
have
is
known
crazy,
his
yeah.
lifestyle before moving in with him.
She should have known crazy is as crazy gets. Babe, can you even hide crazy? Like when we were out on a date, mine was
No,
coming
you
out of my
can. There's
purse,
a
and I was
3-month
tucking
trial.
it back in, and it was coming out my shoes, and I said, "Get back down in there, bitch."
There's a 3-month trial. But honestly, I called it
That's
way before
true.
that.
Yeah,
though.
if you're drinking and smoking.
Now, drinking and smoking is not indicative of a bad person. Never has been, never will be. Okay. There's a difference between drinking and alcoholic. Okay. There's a difference between,
And you should assume all that when you know they drink. So they have a beer here at a party, they have a
Correct.
beer, and throughout the day
And-
they have 3-4 beers. Like, oh, that's so cute, looking at me, so handsome over there. Check them out. You should know that anything comes along with that.
Right. To put it in perspective, again, the percentile of U.S. presidents. Okay. I'm not saying U.S. presidents are perfect. However, you have to realize there's a rigorous filter you have to go through to become a U.S. president.
Yeah.
Out
Obviously
of
not too
46
much.
current U.S. presidents.
Obviously, not too much of a filter.
Okay, take a guess. Out of 46 U.S. presidents, guess how many did not smoke or drink?
Abraham Lincoln and his wife.
Oh,
his
no,
wife
he was a
president.
smoker.
You is it like
No, number.
like
Just
in
a
a
number.
Oh, how many?
How many?
Oh, probably a dozen, 12.
3.
Oh, was
Did
one
not-
of them Roosevelt?
Did not smoke or drink. Actually, he didn't make it. No, Roosevelt's a smoker too.
Oh, that's right.
Bottom
He has to
line
go back up.
is, it's smoking and drinking. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. But here's and I did mention this to Heidi. Bear in mind that, Bear in mind that the daughter did not come from Scuba. Okay. You know what that means? Obviously, she's been with somebody else. And to me, her daughter looks Filipino. Okay. You know how many Filipinos smoke and drink? Probably about 70%.
Yeah, so it's not a
Even women
surprise.
smoke and drink. The same. So I find it odd that she's like, well, I thought it would change. I thought, the smoking and drinking would stop. No, because most of the time that's kind of there already. And anyway, Kate Ella says something about her story did not seem right. Philippines and Beyond says, I'm sure she raked in a bunch of money from her White Knight subs. Oh. Okay, for those who are wondering what the white knights are, white knight subs, the best way to describe them is Mighty Mouse. And if you guys don't remember Mouse's introduction, he says, "Here I've come to save the day."
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. White knights.
White knights.
No. She don't worry about her financially and everything like that. Her white knights will save her. Yes, I'm sure. Um, Chosen One says, "I believe nothing I hear. The only half is what I see." Yes, correct. David Lee says. David Lee says he's a white male. Which one? Oh, okay. Um, he's a white male with blue eyes. That's why she allegedly tolerated it. How? Furthermore,
We
he
said
will
that
get away with it
yesterday.
because he's a white male.
I wouldn't say that. That statement alone. That I mean, what does race have anything to do with it? That he's a white male.
Well, the same thing that Americans have no rights in the Philippines. Fact. Well, it's actually not. You do have rights.
Foreigners do. We were talking about color and where people are from as far as dating, big, small, or whatever, how it actually matters. But I don't think his white eyes and blue had anything to do with it. We've always said, no matter where, maybe it had something to do with the color of
Yeah,
wallet or the wallet, or I don't think it had anything to do with if all that stuff was happening. He's not Prince Charming, that's for sure. I mean, I'm not, he's not. So I don't know that his eyes and being white had anything to do with it.
now, as I was saying, Hillbilly in Asia, I'm gonna be honest with you. The rights thing is in the eye of the beholder. Same thing as beauty. And some of you will disagree with me, some of you won't. And again, that's because it's your perspective. It's how you see things. It's how I see things. It's how Heidi see things. Even me and Heidi, even though we live together, we don't see things on the same level. And what I'm getting at, for instance, if you talk to Filipinos that way versus Filipinos versus foreigners, they'll say the opposite. They'll say, well, foreigners actually have more rights than Filipinos do. No, really, really, trust me. That's what they'll tell you. And then you talk to the foreigners. Guess what they're going to say? Exactly what you said, that Americans have no rights, meaning not necessarily Americans, that foreigners don't have rights. The reason being is that you see injustice is because you identify yourself as to what you perceive as your population. Um, if that makes any sense. So what I'm saying is, for instance, there's a lot of Caucasians, meaning non-Filipino, that I see get away with a lot of crimes. That being said, you being as an expat will see a lot of Filipinos that get away with a lot of crimes because it's a matter of perspective. Okay, now if you do more due diligence, yada yada yada, different story altogether. But then again, remember, even your searches are still going to be biased because it's what you choose to see. That's why whenever somebody's being duped or scammed, even though your friend is saying, hey, she's scamming you, you'll
Yeah.
never see it.
Mr. Fluffy further down just came in the room. Hey, Mr. Fluffy. What she says may be true or not, and we said that in the beginning, but filing with the police was the way to go. The YouTube exposure is for the cash. And she has made that evident for the world to see that 6, 7 days ago, she was tearful with the video, and before that she was living it up on a vacation, and she now a day ago goes into what he's done, but all she can talk about is what he owes her, nothing about the daughter. And then as of 16, 17 hours ago, she's taken everybody's advice, which is surprisingly all in the favor of her, and way to go, and sorry about your daughter situation, to you know that she has done something about it. Thank you, I got my money for my ticket now. It's um she's put her information out there for sure. So, and I seen further down where it was said that don't put your personal life on YouTube, period. It's a need to know. That is true. Whatever you put out on the internet, regardless of YouTube or not, is in the public, period. So agree. So expect whatever comes from it, and we stand by that. So
Brand Solution says Philippine Antics. Unfortunately, we live in a time that some people are no longer of an open debate. I think you're right for discussing the topic with respect to both sides.
it is respect. We said we're not attorneys, that that's an open topic, where it was close to me. And, we've been through that where it was close to me because it's happened to me. It's been where I'm not saying a family member did it. There was family members where stuff has happened. And so it's very, the topic's close to what, the problems that I've had. It's been brought to our attention by people. We just don't randomly scour the internet like people think, just being trollish and looking for problems because we don't have nothing better to do. We never, claim that. Anyways, so this was brought to our attention, and we just did our live yesterday. So you guys know we usually don't do one, but I thought it was something that needed to be covered because both the expat community is being shaken by this, and then of course the Filipinos, and we've offered both people to appear today. So that's cool.
Yeah. Life Advice Channel says, what evidence has she given? A jaded family member that hates her calls her a 304. Wouldn't she sympathize?
Hey, Pee-wee.
Wouldn't?
Miss Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peeled Onion Slowly says Steve is on point. Saratiza says is she Pinay or Korean? We've heard both. Christopher Leroy says, why dude go back to now? That's why actually, be honest with you, that's a real mystery. He hasn't given a reason. She hasn't given a reason. According to her, she doesn't know. No. Brand Solutions. Just because he went to the USA doesn't make him guilty of the bad. No,
true.
not necessarily. No,
Yeah.
no.
I agree.
Actually, him running to the US has nothing to do with whatever accusations she made. Because remember, he went to the US before the accusations were made. And again, the
He had already
prior
gone.
video,
Right,
all
it
she had
was
nothing
7,
were
8 days
praises.
ago, and yeah, that they broke up and was praises, and then only a day and a half ago. Which is the reason I'm off on that a hair is because her video still shows a day ago, and then her last community post was, I think now it's showing 16 hours.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
B. Williams says money, Philippines. Dave Lee says her story appears unbelievable.
Well, here's my thing. A lot of people believe the YouTube community is getting rich no matter what it is. Whether the accusations are e-begging, whether the accusations are what she's doing. The sad part is maybe she made a few $100s from what she's done, and it's not worth putting all of that out there. That's a possible legal issue, or what's going on between her and her man that's that serious. Now, if you put out there because you're a YouTuber, like you'll see some big YouTubers that are at 1.4 million, 2 million. I broke up with my boyfriend. He's got part-time custody, that kind of thing, because vlogging is in your life. That's different. Like us, we've been doing it for a few years. We're TikTokers. We're on Facebook. It's what we decided to do in our retirement. Then yeah, maybe if we broke up, that's what I would put in there. Hey, me and George are no longer together. We're divorced, blah, 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 blah. But as far as going into things that serious for a few $100s, to me, the outcome is not what people think. We have had messages where, oh, she's doing this all for the money. It's a money thing, and she's going to make thousands. And unfortunately, for what's going on, that's not what she's going to make, which makes it on top of that, and the appearance that it's sad also. I bet you she made $300, $400, $500, depending on. Most of those guys are not sending large amounts, but she could have made a few thousand. But even if it's a $10,000 payday, I wouldn't have put that out there to put a mark on his head. I wouldn't have put a mark on my own head or my child's head for, what's been put out there.
Right now.
But more than likely, it was for a few $100s.
I'm doing this not because of there's certain things that I'm not going to voice out my my own opinions in the matter because I have a lot of theories on this. But Chosen One says he went broke. He went broke and left. Now, there is some credibility to this story. And the reason why I say that is this is like, guys, don't do this. Don't go broke and abandon your family. Just don't do that. That's not how it's done.
Oh, I want real quick. Can I address on the side before I lose that thought? I seen somebody in here talk about Geo and he can't go back to the U.S. because of this. And there's been all these accusations about Tim K not paying child support. You know, there's a lot of things that go around about these big bloggers. Unless you actually ask them or talk to them, most of these things are not true. And if it was true, there'd be telltale signs, like somebody who's actually talked to these people. And even then, you got to get all the information. Here's the thing. If Tim K and Geo owed money, you understand that when they start to travel, if he needs to renew his passport, it's as good as gone. They're not going to renew it if he owes all that money. Same with Tim K. He'd have never made it back to the U.S. without some sort of issue. Here in the last few years, especially during the pandemic, I've seen people taken off the airplane over things that were just misdemeanors. So if either of those gentlemen that I've heard ever since I've been in the Philippines, that's all I keep hearing is accusations about Tim K and other people about child support, Geo and deadbeat dads and all that. They would get them when they went to go renew their passports, or they would catch them when they left the country. So it's very good chance that these things being said are not true, especially when it comes, they won't get their passport the next time. And most of those gentlemen are on a limited passport. They don't have that brand new 10 years. So I'm sure as much as Geo travels and what he does, and this is not me standing up for these gentlemen. I'm just saying for those that really don't know, that is what it is. They would get them when they went to go do any of those things, especially if being Tim K's left and come back.
Oh yeah, no.
The accusations
Unless,
have been pre-pandemic.
yeah,
And
I mean, unless he has a passport that's kind of indefinite. Yeah, eventually
Yeah.
they'll get that. And even if his passport is not expired, depending on the amount of child support, first off, their stages, they will disable the driver's license, which obviously doesn't apply here.
George
And then-
has 40 kids in the U.S.
Actually, I've been accused of a lot of things, and
So
unfortunately,
we
this is one
know.
of them.
Yeah.
And then even though I have tests that shows it's not my
That was
kid,
crazy,
I
yeah.
still had to go to
He still had to pay
court
the child
forever,
support.
and I still had to pay child support. And even the judge was like, "Why are you even here?"
Yeah, we
I'm
got
like,
that taken
"Tell me
care of.
about that, judge." But anyway, point is, there's stages, meaning to disable your your driver's license first, then disable your passport, whether or not it's expired or not.
So
just
both
so you
those
guys
guys
know,
would have been,
okay?
a lot of guys are like, oh yeah, they definitely. That's because they heard one channel say it, or a bunch of people said it, or it is said sometimes that when somebody's succeeding, they want to shoot him down. I've heard a ton of accusations about, sunshine shoulders. Who knows? I've heard that he's got 12 kids here in the Philippines and a bunch of them back home that he owes money. Nobody knows until you actually hear it from
Right,
the
well-
horse's mouth. And
Yeah, on this case again, nobody knows. And what I'm saying is,
the same with
They
this
can-
situation.
anybody can talk about who they are or what they are. Okay. Now,
Overstay road, yes.
well,
That's been an accusation for a long time, guys.
what I'm getting at is again, like, now first off, it's kind of weird that, again, I never said anything extravagant about me, but somehow I get called on it. But what I'm getting at is, now I'm not calling anybody or anybody in this current live, whatever. What I'm saying is, stolen valor is a thing.
Any
What-
boxes, any bags?
Okay.
Hey, they got one of those hood things on, like a hoodwink.
Yeah, but it's a
You see it?
Filipino thing.
Ah.
Now, stolen valor is a thing here in the Philippines. Now, if you talk to anybody in a bar, everybody's a freaking Navy SEAL.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the last personal Navy SEAL I met that I know, I never ever saw him again. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is every freaking expat in Navarre is a Navy SEAL.
I think a lot of the guys that come here love you guys, but it's mostly guys. So I'm going to talk about it because I try to include some women too. People reinvent themselves when they get here, and that's
Right.
something I should have mentioned yesterday. And we all know it's true. How many of you all come down to Walking Street or in Cebu or these bars in Manila and all these other places? Went to these parties with the expats, families with Filipinas, and these expats totally reinvent themselves when they arrive here.
Right.
Did you reinvent yourself too?
Not really.
Yeah.
Even though I accuse of him, like I never claimed anything special.
Oh no, I'm making a joke. When you went to the U.S. the first time.
Oh no, it's backwards.
Oh, you were
I-
like the man of misery.
I had to reassemble myself,
You had
but
to-
I proved myself. I was usually the boss.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is a lot of people again believe what they see on YouTube, which is fine again because everybody has a good heart and they want to believe what everybody says. That's what tells you a good person is because they always see the bright side, the good side of people. So if somebody says, "Well, I was in the military," yada yada yada, of course you're going to believe them. Why wouldn't you? But there are some people that do lie, and the reason why I brought this up is because Chosen One says he went broke, and left, and as veterans would say in the room would say, how's that possible? He should be making at least $3,000, 3,200, 3,500
to live here,
3,600
Palauan.
in dollars.
With
Okay.
a kid.
Yeah. So again, I'm not saying he made that up. I'm not saying that, but be aware that you have to take everything what everybody says with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. For those that are contacting and those that are in the room and interested in all that there is two sides to the coin. But please, as we've told you on other channels and listen to other expat advice for moving here and everything, use your own decision. For those that are sending money to these other channels, what I call simping channels or channels where they're asking for, and I mean literally asking for $900 to help you move somewhere, to Thailand or all that, make sure you check out their entire situation. I see further down that somebody said, hi, Dave says, until we hear his side of the story, I'm believing this broad. Or he said his story, he probably meant her story seems to be all over the map. Or maybe he meant his story. We have only heard from her. We haven't heard from him. Both sides, were offered to actually come on here. But actually, there is a lot of holes in
Is that
what.
how this is, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
There's holes in the story, and if there is no holes, that there's no way we're just imagining them. That what she's done, if it is all true, she's still got some issues coming if it's all true, which means there's a major delay in filing the case, and more appears to the public and our viewers that have contacted us that she's more concerned of the money in the phone situation than what had happened with her daughter and that her family knew about it. So it really just, it's like hitting George in the face with a frying pan and then saying,
Oh,
let me buy you some ice cream. Would you like some ice cream and some, what do you call that? The corn with the cream on it?
Mm-hmm.
Benetogi?
Binatog.
Oh, Benetogi.
Binatog.
I'll get you some Benetogi.
It's hominy.
And I'll get you some Benetogi and some tahol.
Binatog.
And some lumpia, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in all fairness to her, be aware that both parties have holes. That didn't sound right, but you get my point.
How many holes? How many holes is that, George?
Right.
What would you do with for a Klondike?
How many orifices, depending on which sexuality they are. No. There's holes on both parties.
How many holes do you have on your body, George?
Hmm?
How many holes? How many holes do I have?
Anyway,
Quick, name how many holes you got in your body.
What do you mean? You don't have to count.
I do. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, then she's making. All right.
I have 12. You don't? You want 12 holes?
If you want to be accurate, it's a bajillion because every pore in your body is technically
I
a
didn't
hole.
say micro. I said big enough to stick something in.
Anyway,
I have 12 if you want to include my spider bite hole.
all right.
That makes 12.
Dave Lee, all
And
I
my
hear
ears are
is
double
money,
pierced.
money.
Money,
Hurley
money,
Wilson
money,
says her
money,
story
money,
makes no sense.
money,
The reason why
money.
a lot of people question her is because she twisted her first video is contradictory to her second video. Okay. Regarding Scuba. Yeah, and Jeffrey M. Vlog says, don't forget about the new Honda moped. No, we did not forget about that. However, somehow it's omitted in both videos. Again, it's kind of weird that she concentrated on that phone, but didn't mention the moped. Scooter to you guys. Okay. Most Westerners call scooters mopeds. Just saying. Anyway.
Here's another thing that I'll probably get a lot of hate on, and I'm just gonna let it out because I can't help but let it slip out. Sometimes you would have a lot more respect if, for whatever case it might be, hers, theirs, ours, or anybody else, if you just ask for what you need. Like people that are denying that they're on YouTube because they're making any money or that they're going to get money. Or the fact that if she really needed money to go back to Manila, an example, she could have just said, hey guys, do you mind? Or, hey, can't keep the lights on at headquarters, or, it's either, in other words, them are some serious accusations to come back around and say, I didn't get my stuff paid off and I need help, because she did ask for it, but she added all the other side stuff and allegations that he hasn't answered to, that she's answering to people to, and it's kind of crazy. You see what I mean? It's kind of like the denial of the money thing in social media. It's the denial of we've seen people go all the way around and make accusations before, not necessarily this. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the art of serious deceiving. We're not talking about little things. There were accusations that every man has a story. Asked for money for a cruise ship. I've never heard that story. That was other people telling us that he was going on a roundabout way and asked for people to invest millions in a cruise ship. Or we've heard everything, guys. So why not just ask for it? I need $5,000 to pay for a heart surgery. Maybe not everybody's just that open. Do you see what I'm saying? Whatever the subject is, this is just examples. That's all I heard in the stories here lately in the last few months, is that there's a long story around about the vloggers in the US and Canada and other places that are just, it's a long way around. It's a long way around, man. There's a lot that could actually become a downfall. I see you looking. Why do you always have that look on your face?
Oh, nothing.
What are you thinking?
All right. Hillbilly Asia says Philippines have no rights. To wreck a local person your fault unless you have video proof. Heidi is the date. The fact that she repeatedly mentions it to fulfill his financial obligations tells me she was all about the money from the gate. Liberian again. Nobody knows why he decided to leave the Philippines. Brand Solution says, I think he is responsible for his bills, even if they are in their name. Yes, I agree. Yeah. You pluck a Filipino from the village, they can't afford it. The other acquisition need proof. Yeah, basically what Brand Solution is saying is yes, he does need to be accountable for what the bills he incurred, if that's what happened. Yes.
Right. But we don't know what agreement was made between both parties. And
so Scott says he went back to the U.S. earlier in the year and ended their relationship. When he came back, he decided he wanted her and was going to ask her to get married. Then they moved together, according to Gio's video.
And Jim said Mark Thornton himself on multiple streams admitted he was raising funds to buy a ship. He'll be doing that for that new baby too. Pamper City's coming. He says it's not expensive. It still costs money. You know, it costs a lot of money if she's not going to be using the baby, her own personal baby milk would be formula. And formula these days is just as expensive as the U.S. and so is the diapers, cloth or not. Still costs money to raise a kid. So
B. Williams says she's all about the money. If she was a nice, humble person, she would not post a video. Heidi saved. My thoughts exactly. Wasasham says, interesting posting that message from the daughter. Thank you. Hillbilly in, yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was
Hillbilly in Asia. I would bail if I broke up with a Philippine. I would move back to my country because of you're on a visitor visa.
And what about what you said? We discussed this several lives back about usually when expats break up with Filipinas, and even some of them that are still married to the Filipinas, they go to a whole different island. It's not always leaving the country.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I was going to bring this up, yes, because actually it's a viable point. Now, there's a trend, okay, and I don't know if the heat has anything to do with it. Honestly, the heat does tend to, again, highest crime rates usually during the summer. Fact. And the reason why I brought this up is because that's when people are hot headed the most. And I'm not being, that's not a pun intended. The heat brings in the worst in all of us. The reason why I brought this up, if you guys pay attention, there's actually an exodus of expats from the Philippines. And usually this is a fight from or breakups. Actually, I would say most of it is from breakups. Rickshaw, breakup. You know what I'm saying? You have Scuba Steve here,
Scuba Steve.
breakup. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Watch your other videos that you guys watch on YouTube. Most of them are breakups. That's why they're leaving the Philippines.
Did she say something about in the first video? Again, you've watched it several times because you made the video. Did she say something in the first video about he wanted to go back to his family, and she kind of beat around the bush that he was ready to go back?
Yes.
Not everybody can hack the Philippines, guys. There's a lot going on. So unless, like I said, you're married to Filipina, you're raising your kids here, you're looking for somewhere cheap to live, as far as retirement and all that, these guys stay on a permanent vacation for 6 months, come back 6 months, and then when they think they're going to live here long term, they just skedaddle, they split, they can't handle.
No, according to her, it blindsided her, and she did not see what was going on, which is very possible. She did not see the signs.
I mean, maybe he does have allegedly mental illness.
Well,
maybe
or
he needed to skedaddle. I mean, maybe his anxiety just.
There could be a lot of reasons. For example, there's some YouTubers out there that are expats that went back to their home country because they needed to basically reset. Correct. And if he has mental issues, as she said before, this is more of a reason to reset in a different country.
Rizzuto, correct? He went back and had migraine issues.
There was a lot of them, actually. A lot of different expats.
Has gone back to reset because it's a lot to chew between the noise, the heat, the pollution, there's a lot to chew on when you come here. But here's the thing, the same as they advise Filipinos that leave here and go to foreign countries, they have classes on it and everything. That it's the same as foreigners leaving any country and going to another country. It's really hard to reset. It really is. I'm still over 2 years have been in the country, and I'm still like, there's some days where there's 5-6 different noises coming in different directions. The heat, sometimes there's a lot going on.
Right.
The bugs.
No, there's a lot of things you have to consider, and again, we're trying to show you again. It's not a cut and dry as everybody makes it to be, or what she makes it to be. Again, I'm not going against her either. As Alfredo Sono says, she could be saying the truth. Yes, she could. However, there are issues if she is saying the truth. And like our Philippine journey says, that's true. She could be saying the truth, but without expanding on it and hearing his side, we may never know. Also, again, remember, she may be telling the truth, even if she is. Be aware she is ultimately responsible too, because she had a report from her sister and her as well.
Yeah, I just don't. my biggest thing is why that first video came out that 6-7 days ago saying that, hey, he left me, I'm single. Then she went and had her hair done, then went out to eat, and then a day ago it flipped over to he did this. Why didn't that come out the first time? And even if she sat around and thought about it, she then admitted in her video a day ago that her family knew about what had happened or seen it, and all the accusations. It just makes you wonder. I hate to say it, I wasn't born yesterday. George wasn't born yesterday. Neither was anybody else. Only I hear every key word that's being said, and he hasn't covered his side. And why that information would be put out there is the questions that have come to everybody's mind, and that's what today's discussion is.
Yes, and
So it's just a lot of holes.
right.
And why? It was all paradise 2 weeks ago. And if it happened 2 weeks ago when her family was around, and that could have been when they were around, then she knew 2 weeks ago that something had happened. And it's just there's something going on.
But like I
So,
said, we ask you to suspend your judgment on both parties.
yes.
As Life Advice Channel says, ifs, buts, maybe, should have been, would have been, could have been.
Correct. Would have been. Yep.
Okay, be aware. That's why we ask both parties, not just one, not just the other, both him and her, to again show up and again voice out their voice.
Yes. Most definitely.
Brand Solution says that's what I hear. When sis left, told her, she confronted him, then he booked, planned trip home visit, then once home. Well, be aware that that's what the perception is again. According to her, it was her sister when her left. So from new house to planning wedding for emergency trip home after confronting still a serious accusation without proof. Peel the onion slowly. Either way, it's time to lawyer up, and that's probably again, regardless whether innocent or guilty or whatever. If he did lawyer up, again, regardless of stance in innocence or guilty, the best course of action is silence. Our Philippine journey says slowly for sure. Frank Ellis, maybe he just got tired of her ass.
That's well said. George, I'm tired of your ass scattle, man.
Yes, please. All right.
Yes, please.
SH says this trip home to Chicago was planned a few months ago. Yes, it's not something that's not. Yes, I agree with SH. This is not something that just came up like out of the blue. No.
Mhm.
Maybe the trip to Chicago was his way out.
Could have been.
No. Her voice was tweaked for reasons. No, it wasn't. No, her statements were not altered by any means, or
No, it
or
wasn't.
nor
It
what.
wasn't.
And it wasn't edited to manipulate the words. It was
We
edited
said
because
for YouTube purposes.
well, not well, yeah. And
Yeah,
but what I'm
that's
saying
pretty
is
much.
the audio was edited because she tend to repeat herself or non-relevant
Yeah,
matters.
go watch her. There is the link to her
Yeah.
description. Full credit to her channel, and she's been advised this video exists.
Now, Ronald Trump
So,
makes a good point here, and Heidi did
It's
mention
a
it.
commentary.
Did mention it earlier. Ronald Trump says, "Don't judge the foreigner. He's probably scared because he knows he has no rights and feelings. Not so much the rights. It's called mob justice."
Yes, that would be my concern on that side too. There's concern on both sides for sure. So most definitely. We didn't get anything from Globe, did we? It's
Oh,
15
probably
minutes
not.
away.
No, none.
Kind of.
Okay, Mark Hammer says, I was getting ready to visit Filipina next spring, who has a 16-year-old daughter, and this incident really has me spooked. It makes me want to visit them only in public areas, not at their home. Now, first off,
That is advisable to some extent.
before you go all in, yes, there is. What I'm saying is, make sure you have CYA, cover your A.
Well, there's been several expats that advise that you really should not. Isn't there a rule or a law here about being alone, even with relatives?
Yeah,
or
you should never
non-relatives,
be
minors?
alone with a minor.
Yeah, so like taking a lot of people like, oh, they're over exaggerating. I wouldn't. So that's male or female to take a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old or something out for lunch alone. I would definitely have somebody with you, and it's to cover you. We've had people that have worked in the house. We have cameras in the house, inside and out. We suggest those that have housekeepers, and some have their kids living with them as housekeepers, that you do this, because there's been several accusations against between the Filipinas and the expats. So it's to cover both of them. It's for the Filipina herself also.
In
and-
fact, forget the minor too. What I'm getting at is, if you're male or female, doesn't matter, and you're in a relationship with a Filipino or Filipina, and you have a visitor, aka the sister, you do not let them in the house without your spouse. Because my issue also here in the story is the sister was in the house with him. You do not, for your protection, if same thing, if you're female, you don't let,
Yeah. 1 second
What happened?
here. Yeah, I want you to see this. They're twisting words at this point. We'll address, and then they're cooked. Hold on. And where's the bottom of this?
at the bottom.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't put it up, but you see the question? When did we say that? Another twisting?
Yeah.
I
No,
would.
I agree.
Um,
I wouldn't even mention it.
yeah, that kind of puts your comment out there. Go back to your channel and wait a few more days to release a video. Really?
Yeah.
Right? That's a both staring.
I
at the
can't
camera.
even comment without. Again,
Right.
if you.
But they
Okay.
know who they are coming in and trying to.
There's
stir
a difference
stuff up.
between manipulating the truth to your own agenda versus whatever.
Correct.
I'm really not into that, nor would I waste my time on it.
I mean, it's kind of weird. Disappear for a few days, create another channel, disappear for a few more days, go on to a couple different other platforms, do all the whatever and whatever, and then come on into somebody's channel and say one statement, then come in with something else, whatever. I mean, it's one thing that we left it there, but it's another to come in with the rest.
Okay, there it is. Right there.
Sorry.
That's where I was. I'm just making sure. Again, we're trying to stay on the subject, so we're not. Hi to everybody again, and thank you so much. But there's a lot of comments going up, and again, it's a serious matter, so therefore we're trying to stay on topic. Yeah, that's where I was.
I like the name Hillbilly in Asia.
Yeah, Hillbilly in Asia. Yeah. Okay. Chosen One isn't talking to us. He's talking to some of you guys in the chat. Chosen One says, you guys ain't playing this game correctly. Unnecessary hardship. Brand Solutions. He's talking about what we said earlier in the live.
About
Philippine
all the
Antics,
comments.
they could be deleting comments. Yes, we believe so too.
No, that was already suggested. Believe me, we got a lot of email on this starting yesterday.
Frank Ellis says, that was very unprofessional, regular guy. Now, what he's saying is, in Frank Ellis' opinion, regular guy is somewhat biased. And it is his channel. He's entitled to, or allowed to say, well, I'm not saying allowed, but he's entitled to say whatever he wants on his channel, whether he's biased or not. And that's his channel.
Yeah, we don't know that he knows. It's always to some point where people will hang on the Filipina side or the other side. We've heard everything from last night that, there was a big fallout with him and Gio. Can't stand that guy. That, that's all about manipulating the Filipinas. Then we've heard everything about the Filipina is using everybody to get money and it's all a scam. We've heard scam. We've heard scandal. And once again, from the very beginning, we've said this isn't about taking either side. It's presenting something and showing, like, with the people, which is in a full discussion right now, what's actually going on. So it's, showing
Yeah.
both sides, what could have been, every opportunity to cam up, talk, come in here and say it. I mean, she's already put her side out there. She's well aware that we're actually doing this live today. And the same with him. I really didn't expect him for sure to show up because she said he already blocked her. Well, I doubt if that happened that he would actually appear with those types of accusations. So not taking either side.
Right. As Peel the Onion slowly says, it seemed like they like to party. Now be aware, somehow this is okay. This statement applies to a lot of couples out there, whether in the U.S., Philippines, whatever. Both parties usually, when there's a couple, they don't have a problem going out and spending money. But guess what? When it's time to pay rent, they like to point at each other. But both parties are kind of somewhat guilty of spending the money, if that makes any sense. Peel the Onion slowly says, George knows what's up. Frank Ellis says he actually said he wanted to get with Rufina. Again, like, I know they call themselves husband, wife, and Mr. and Mrs., but I honestly don't think they are together.
I think he's talking about regular guy. He's telling Life Advance channel.
You're talking about regular
guy?
guy? Okay.
Don't blame her. She's a beautiful woman. And, we don't know anything. And remember, regular guy has announced that he is out looking for women. He put that on everybody who's done an interview and talked to him. We haven't seen them all, but we know that he made a statement to a couple of the bigger vloggers that he is here to find somebody. So that would be
Frank Ellis says he wants a piece of that. Well, even more reason why he would be biased.
Right. So if there's something that and see, we're not on either side. I don't know Scuba Steve and I don't know Miss Vlogger either. So we're just going to say, I don't know either of them. And they're going to say that I'm biased because, I'm for the American and that's obvious. And that's why there's two of us. That's what makes our channel good is there are two sides to our channel, both the Filipino and, we're not sugarcoating shit, man.
Right. Chosen One says, first time hearing all this. Sounds like a typical expat story.
Well, that's what we cover. So you guys should know that what we've been covering, you guys have seen. We only pick and choose the ones we want for many reasons. If we get over 100 emails in a 24-hour period where they're like, hey, this is going on, this is what, it's something that we look at. We pulled up the videos. We investigated. We even have a side investigator, by the way. And when we put all of our brains together, okay, then it's kind of like, well, maybe this is worth covering. And there's just a lot of holes, a lot of things, a lot going on. And here we are.
Yeah, our Philippine journey says, lol, maybe a few degrees worse than usual. I would say more. Okay, to clarify, there are worse stories out there, just not on YouTube because
that's what we said about some of these other channels that are whatever channels that you would think they were bigger fish to fry, but when it becomes personal for these people, they tend to go after the same people. We have nothing on this one or when we covered. There's been several that we've actually covered like this, like the John story. There was nothing. The reason we covered that is because she contacted us and we were in contact with John's woman for over a day and she complained. And I haven't received
we got
money
attacked for giving her voice, her side of the story. But then again, you know what? Whatever.
And we called it. We said they would get back together and that all of this was coming. And then what happened? They got a place together, got back together. And now he went back to the U.S. Everything we called happened. The same with this situation. We're not just personally attacking one or two big YouTubers and just hanging out on that under a couple hundred, you know, subscribers. We're covering something that we thought would be important to both communities because we speak to both communities. We have, just as many Filipinos as we do, foreigners that watch our channel, and it's very important.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to say than that.
Hillbilly says, "Hey, amen. A chosen one drama for clicks for his ex, get more money for a YouTube channel." Mike Ross says, "Find a Pinay that doesn't need your money. 90% of those stereotypical relationship don't occur."
They retracted. Did you or did they?
Who's that? Oh no, that's them.
Can you see it in there? We'll find out in a minute.
Interesting, Chef. Then I don't know what you're getting at, but it has nothing to do with us whatsoever. The problem you have here is you have people bearing pitchforks, and I think it's unjust, regardless of how you believe, whose side you believe. Again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, regardless of who it is. Will Smith says, "Just spay and neuter just for George."
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. Frank Ellis says, "It's all about cold and hard cash." Mike Ross says, "Low value foreigner hooks up with a low value Pinay, makes for great entertainment."
And never forget, at the end of the day, we're YouTubers, and never denied that.
Inspirational Network says, "She thought she had a winning horse and got left holding the bag. Now she is scorned, hurt, and trashing him now to pay for her loss."
It is what it is sometimes.
Hector Gubat says, "After the police report, the complainant is advised to get a lawyer, file a sworn complaint affidavit with the city prosecutor." Correct. Brand Solution says, "I'm kind of new here, but I think they discuss current events and expect me." Correct. Because eventually, if you are planning on moving here in the Philippines, this may or may not happen to you or one of your friends.
Right. So it's not like a gossip channel that's actually attacking one or two channels, and some of them do exist where they only do that. We have given just as much expat help as we have bringing these subjects up that we feel that are, relevant. So, yeah, we've been here for a couple of years. We were here during the pandemic, and, there's been 50,000 more that have shown up after us. And like I said, never forget that this is what we do. So,
Hector Gubat says, I think he meant Tolfo's producers have entered the chat. That's hilarious. And that's funny, Hector. It would be awesome if they were.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, that is really strange. No matter what, it's not bringing up together.
Yeah, Sarah Tyson says, "Next video she is ticked off." Yeah, I remember. These are two videos that she released which are completely contrasted to each other. Correct. Izzy and Chris says, "Those men sending her money to her just goes to show men sending money to a Filipina that they have never met is alive and well."
People are a trip. 1 second, you see this right here?
I can't read that.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Well, actually, Frank Ellis, they have. Hollywood needs to go to the Philippines and tap into the expat community. It would be entertainment galore. That is what they call 90 Day Fiance.
Coming in, giving his address.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. We'll address you, Jacob. You don't come into other people's live streams and drop your link, so it actually will not be shown. So that is the number one breaking of rule, is to drop your own freaking link when you haven't even established yourself. We don't know you at all. So
yeah. Our Philippine Journey says Jerry Springer and Howard Stern would have a field day here.
He put not only once, but he came in twice. Nice try. At least do like regular guy did or other people do, and drop $5 and then your name goes up. Just saying.
Yeah, Mango Shakes Philippines says this is actually interesting because a lot of people forget this part, whether the receiver or giver. Giving or sending money to another in another country should be considered a gift, nothing but a gift. What that means is be aware when you give something to somebody, don't expect anything in return.
Right.
Okay. Harry Walsh says, pray for all those involved. Yes, that's a good idea. Yes.
We're not going to go into the full thing, but yes, we have discussed, but we're not going to go into detail now. So, no,
Okay, well, Mike
she
Ross,
has discussed it.
I honestly don't know. Again, I don't know, and I think a lot of people don't know if her family did not pay for their vacations. Come on. Well, yes and no.
It's possible.
Remember, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Remember, there's a lot, a lot of rich Filipinos out there.
Yes, there is.
Trust me.
There is.
Most of these cars driven brand new are by Filipinos alone. No, no expat
Our
involved.
next door neighbor that pays the same rent as we do have 2 brand new cars.
Yeah.
And one's a truck, a very expensive truck. So, and we don't.
Yeah,
So we
and
don't have it.
as well, Hillbilly says, my fiance, I help her start a business, supports her kids, good women, work a job as a business. Yes. Christopher Lear, they're both guilty. Well, we're not saying they both are, but remember, in a relationship, it's exactly what it is. They're still in the same ship, meaning they're both somewhat responsible.
And if she, let's say she is telling the truth, that would still possibly make them both guilty. Let's say her words are true. I'm just giving you guys a scenario. Even if she is 1000% telling the truth, and we're not saying she's not, understand our exact words, she would still be guilty at that point, if that's what he's asking, for not saying something. Let's say he is, by her accusations, and that is, she didn't do anything when she knew about it a few weeks ago, or the time frame and the family that was involved, she said. So if she's right about what she said and then didn't do anything, then yeah, they both would. If it is true, then yes. The answer is yes. We got to look at both sides on that. Again, it's a discussion, so technically, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's all what she says it is, then yes.
No, Mike Ross. Just
And that's a deep theory. We're going into, what ifs. That's what the discussion's about.
right now, Mike Ross. She says she speaks broken English. I'm stereotyping, but I know what type of family she comes from. Set a bar a little higher, fellas. Now, keep in mind, on her defense, okay, be aware that somebody's language skills may not be exactly a direct correlation with their intelligence or education. What I'm saying is there's a lot of very intelligent people out there who only know their own language. Doesn't matter what country they're from. Linguistics is a different skill. Yes, I admit most intelligent people who have like multilingual people have a higher intelligence level. Yes, for the most part, but there are some that it's kind of like it's like saying Einstein understands 5 different languages. No, he doesn't. Point is, intelligence is not language does not set an intelligence level nor type of person. But I'm just saying, but you did say stereotyping. Brand Solution says, like the stream, guys. 164 viewers, 64 like. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your chosen one. You're funny.
All right. Oh, chosen one.
Okay. Izzy and Chris. Yes, doubtful the family gave him much, if not anything. She has followed. She has her followed by the leash. All drooling
Is this
willing
a
to be
Filipino?
open.
Because I know they refer to she as
Open
in.
wallets.
So in other words, yeah, there's.
SH says in video number 1, the good breakup tone changes later in the video, pretty much saying he didn't have the balls to tell her
he was
before he left.
leaving, right. followed by a salon visit, followed by a restaurant trip after asking for some assistance, followed by a accusation that hit really hard. So that was really rough. So that's for sure. Which again affects, him returning, which affects her future because let's say it's all true and she can prove it, she has to expect that the Philippine government can come back on her also if they pursue. That's if they do. So they're big accusations. And I'm sitting there thinking about something, and George always wonders what goes through my head. I'm sitting there thinking about us covering this story and everything. So kind of going to deep thoughts.
Yeah. Mango Shakes Philippine says, okay, remember, I don't know everything. I'll never claim to know everything. I never do. I'm just human. Mango Shakes Philippine says, George, it really depends where the shrapnel location. I've seen Vietnam vets getting it removed. That's years later at the VA hospital. So what he's saying is, again, I guess there's certain shrapnel that they can't pull out right away, and eventually they will.
Huh. Yeah, because back in the day, it used to be whatever they could get out, got out. They just left it in the old war vets. So
Correct.
It must be something they're willing to do. So interesting.
Sarah says that auntie, her sister, telling Rufina about bad daddy is strange. A little kid will answer what your voice says will be the right answer.
Yeah, usually the child. Just reading through the comments.
Yeah, we're trying to filter what's relevant and what's not. And again, Tim Husk is correct. Always remember there's three sides to the story. Her side, his side, and the truth. Correct.
Further down, Hector Gubat says, I'm Phil Am, and for my peace of mind, when I return, I will have a good lawyer on retainer to defend against anyone who makes fake case against me. You never know. If you are charged with a crime, you'll go to jail until there's a trial, which may take a while. And that could be for many cases. There's even people that don't have work permits working online that are sitting in jail. So people claim it doesn't happen. It's people that have never been here and actually don't know, and it is true. So there is due process to some extent. It could. Every area of the Philippines is different depending on what section you're actually in. How they handle the license and tags here in the Angel City area versus going to Cebu versus being in Mindanao and different areas could be totally different in Metro Manila. So everything can be different how it's handled. But yes, I would definitely, just another thing you deal with when you move to a third world country or a foreign country.
Right. Now, I'm going to say something which may seem a little off, but just real quick. This applies to everybody. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. There's, as the men say it, there's wife material and girlfriend material. And as the women say it, there's boyfriend material and there's husband material. Okay. What that means is a girlfriend material or boyfriend material would be the fun people that you go out and have fun with. And then husband, wife material would be the ones that you can see you spend the rest of your life with. Okay. Now, that being said, Chosen One says, I'm overthinking. If I should ask Rufina on a date, she is single after all. There's girlfriend material and there's boyfriend material and there's okay. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Have I had several girlfriends? Yes. But they're just that. I date them not because I see a future in them, because they're just fun. I just want to go out. Let's say, oh, hey, Tuesday night. Let me go out with what's her name?
Chosen One just wanting to have some fun.
Right.
She might be
so
wifey material.
Just be aware of,
who knows?
Set that down. Wife, girlfriend. Don't go further. All right.
Why is it got to be either or? Maybe just a person, maybe neither.
Well, you won't know until you date them first. But anyway.
Yeah. Don't know anything about that.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
know a whole lot about
This
the
is
Mary
also
J.
important.
stuff.
This is important. Starting my life over at 40, I have heard of foreigners getting loans in their Filipino names.
That does happen. Now, I don't know if you've actually spoke to somebody that has. I've been here for over 2 years, and I don't know anybody personally that gets it in their Filipina's name. Now, they might go and get a car loan because they've been here a long period of time. Remember, your credit doesn't even build up for 5 years in the Philippines. So, and that's after you're a permanent resident and you build some time here. So, a lot of the guys are financing back in the US. Now, that's a possibility. Now, I've read on Facebook groups where others have read also that they're getting these expensive, high payday loans in the Philippines in their Filipina's name because they're broke. It does happen. So, what's wrong?
Anyway.
What's
No.
so?
Okay.
It's a possibility.
Is that what they got? No. Because remember, remember that oddly enough, the scooter that she'll talk about that phone endlessly, but won't mention the scooter.
Hey, Ruby.
Is that what they got at 155? Starting my life over, too poor to buy a scooter at Yamaha 155 NMAX. You don't need to live in the Philippines. No. Actually, again, now for those of you who don't know who I am, again, be aware that I'm a motorcycle dude. I've owned a total of 3 motorcycles. We're talking about like seven. Like my biggest motorcycle was a 750 with a turbocharger. You never saw that one. And then I had the one that Heidi did see was I had a
The one in the photo.
yeah, I had a Honda Shadow Custom.
Sold right before
So
we left.
yeah, I'm a biker. What I'm saying is, of course, NMAX only 155cc. Anyway, but be aware again in the Philippines, even an NMAX is a motorcycle in the Philippine world. Okay. And oh yeah, and he says you don't need to live in the Philippines. What he's saying is, actually Heidi even asked, like, are you gonna get a motorcycle? I said, no, I don't need a motorcycle because traffic here is so bad that most of the time you don't need more than 150cc on average for the most part. Just letting you guys know. MYK Philippine Journey says she sounds suspicious to me. She sounds sus. Mike's Philippine Journey says same channel, and she just changed the name.
That's what I thought. So yes.
Hillbilly Joker says you two always look so happy and grounded. Like to watch your videos. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What are you doing, BB? I know the whole family's
Yeah.
in there, huh?
Brand Solution says I think she changed the channel name. You can't merge channel. You can only transfer the videos.
You can, but remember, if you've monetized them or you try to re-upload them, they will catch those files. We actually have a cat channel that we were putting cat videos on. We tried to take that video and move it over. We couldn't actually do it. It showed that belonged to another channel. So we got hit with that one. So I don't know about that either. So
yeah,
maybe unmonetized ones or something.
It's possible,
but we couldn't we definitely couldn't do it on two. My guess is prior videos were him and her and had his name on the intros, and now this new one is something that she's put on, which is fine. There's
she's
nothing wrong
building
with
on the ashes.
but
so
I know that it showed 4 months ago she hit 1,000. It looks like she's gained, as of this morning, 600-700 subscribers in 2 days, which is a lot of people in this time frame. It is, yes. Because of the algorithm thing going on.
Well, Sashim says, I don't think Rufina ever had a channel of her own.
Right.
Brand Solution says it's a serious allegation without proof.
Yes,
And Roland Trunk says this looks like a job for Rapid 204. Actually,
yes.
It's in her best interest that Rapid 204 doesn't get involved because in the end, it implicates her.
No, she's definitely gained hundreds of people since yesterday. She's at 4.23. She was at 3.
Oh, okay. Brent says Phil commented on her video. He asked her if she was nuts and that he would never hurt her daughter. Hillbilly in Asia says If she lied, then we'll fix it, and she will get into very trouble. He
So
don't
it's
play around,
400
Rafi Tulfo.
since- So she's gained almost 400 people since yesterday.
Oh,
because
Brent
we-
says the Phil comment was deleted right away after he made it.
Okay, so that's probably why we didn't see it, because all we've seen is where people said that you were going to help her, or glad that she's okay, and so. Oh, good for you, Christine.
Okay, Kristen Laluan.
And what true statements were those?
This is very weird, and it's actually racial, because honestly, race has nothing to do with this. So yeah. Okay, nothing will become of this. I imagine she's saving face, trying to profit from the breakup and find another ATM. He will bounce because he wants to reset in a new Filipina. No. Rafi Tulfo, cool guy, yes. I talked to him. He does not play around. He will get to the bottom of it. Both parties
That's what I was
don't want
saying,
to. No,
if she
no.
wanted to do something
Neither party will want to get
serious.
into this. Honestly,
Yeah.
that'll make things worse. Izzy and Chris, this could all be avoided if he just manned up and told her, was bored of her, set her up the only way she was before she met. Well, Easy and Chris. Okay, depends. You can take care of somebody the best you can, best way manner possible, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they will take care of you. Right? What are we expecting to deliver?
Could that be Globe? Or yes, it's possible the shelves might be coming. Where was you at, Izzy and Chris?
Right there.
Okay, so we are supposed to have a delivery today of a cabinet. We have like the shelves where we put like the laundry. It's for the laundry room. Don't put your personal life on YouTube, period. Yes, we seen that, Terry. Agreed, but or it'll be put out there by several channels for sure. My point in drinking and smoking was if he had a problem, she should have been aware of it before moving in with him. Terry, let's see. That girl has hundreds of hard heads simping hard, trying to play captain, save a 304. We already read Mr. Fluffy's statement. There's Josie. She'll be fine. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's small. That's the cabinet.
That was quick.
She'll be fine. Josie F. That would be Mr. Fluffy's woman. She have nice.
That's funny.
Front. Just joking. Josie. That's another Filipina, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mr. Fluffy. I can see asking your community for help with bills if you're stuck, but the other allegations are serious and should have been handled personally or delivered with proof. And that's what I was saying. The more respect thing is to do is she could have just come in and just told her story like this. If she would have ended that with a real hard, I broke up, he left me, and then left it at that, and then the community helped her out. But to come forward with something additional that she should have taken care of a while back, mentioning something happened to her daughter, and then using that, and I need help again. That's where you kind of lose part of the community, part of our community, and the things are being said. So I agree, because you're going to hear a bunch of bullshit channels that'll say, these people are e-begging on this channel, and this person's e-begging, and this is why we're doing this and going after that. Get over it, community. YouTube is here to stay. And the harder this algorithm is pushed, and the way Google is going through these lawsuits of the monetization is going to fly out, and everybody's going to be to a members only situation, or stickers are going to be the only way they make money. And it's not free or cheap to run a YouTube channel. If you're just doing it on the side as a fun and all that, that's fine. But some people make their living off there, such as the Filipina P. And there's a lot of Filipinos and expats that are doing these channels for part of their money. And I get it. So, to hell with what you consider e-begging or somebody asking for it. If she needs help, then she needs help. And I get it. But don't mix in an expat, don't mix in yourself and your children on the side, because once on social media, it's an actual forever thing. If she just needed it, the guys and her community would have helped her without adding in that my family, she added her family in it. My family knew about it, but I stayed, and that's where you kind of lose the respect and sympathy from your Filipinos and the expat community. And her face is out there. She's in that area walking around making an accusation about a guy. I would be seriously concerned that if I made an accusation, let's say about George all of a sudden, and that I'm just putting all that stuff out on him, that I'd be walking around, Mabalacat, where anything could be possible. I can't see doing it.
Well, they can see you all the way from Angeles.
Well, yeah, I know they can see me all the way from English. You ain't even kidding. It's like when I go to the mall, it's like they could see me all the way. Yeah, sure. Aww. Poor guy.
He ate something like.
Maybe he got a whole. You sure he didn't get a chicken bone? That's another possibility. I don't think he would have, unless it was in his meat. We never thought about that since yesterday. A little teeny bone might be actually.
I don't know.
Anyways, dog's been
Cheeto egg.
dry cough.
I would not date a YouTuber. Never, never, never. This man may be innocent, and a lot of men, aka feminists, support her. Brand Solution says Philippine Antics, and we wouldn't be here for you while it's out. Bad George. Right?
Yeah, not for you. Get to the cause rent is due, and gonna keep the lights on here at Philippine Antics headquarters, and I'm gonna have George and them kittens neutered next month. You ready to be neutered? I wonder if they really could neuter you. Honestly. Probably.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
I mean, they can castrate guys. Neutering is not that far off. They do because of prostate cancer.
I know that. I'm talking about the vet.
Oh no, of course not. They're not going to do that. That's against their code.
I bet you for 20,000 pesos.
They could lose their vet license. I mean, they work hard for that.
You never know.
Anyway,
for a price.
Filing with the police.
I just put a rubber band on it.
Right, let it fall off. Let them grow black and then fall off. Filing with the police
is that where you're at already?
Right. Filing with the police is the first step. The next process is hiring a lawyer to draft and file a sworn complaint affidavit with local prosecutor. Yes.
Yes, you have to actually go in and physically do all this. If it said that I sent a message and did this and that, that was funny. We had somebody a long time ago that claimed in the United States that they contacted somebody and had, what's his name, Randy, taking care of them. We're like, that requires a physical appearance to do those types of requests and reports and all of that. When it comes down to those serious accusations, you have to. So maybe your attorney can. I don't.
Well, Sachem said, "What's sad? Phil probably wouldn't be safe living in the Philippines now. Yeah, Rufina's plenty of white Philippine expats that would probably believe anything she would tell them. No, that's true."
Like I said, I don't feel color is a matter in that right now. I just think that between the Filipinos and any expats that are on her channel listening, it's just not good for. It's not good for either side, because remember, not everybody's pro expats or pro Filipina. It could swing both ways. If you actually look at both sides, it could swing both ways.
Right. Now, hi, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave.
I've been watching Hi, this is Dave for a while. No, I mean watching him as a commenter. He's an analytical guy, and the reason why I'm saying this is because he has his own opinion, and he says, until we hear his side of the story, I believe he's saying, I'm not believing this broad.
Yeah,
her story seems to be all over the map. Yeah, and the reason why he said this again, this is Dave, is a very analytical guy. So I'll just let you know. Christopher Leroy says, if you owe $2,500 or more in child support, USA will take your passport.
You know what I'm seeing here is this is a brand new PayPal account. Something tells me, being that was his YouTube channel, the PayPal people clicked on and added the money, it was under his name meant for her. I'm just saying an observation. This is now officially in her name. The other one said Scuba
Yeah.
on it, guys. So when she said that he took the money and it was withdrawn, it was probably his PayPal account. The money was meant for her. That I can understand. So there's a possibly another mystery, actually, because I just seen this. This is new. This wasn't. This is new.
Yeah.
So
Jim Canurdia says this isn't the first time they've broken up.
because this has got her photo on it, and the other one didn't have the name on there was his name. So that would be my guess, guys.
Brand Solution says, I think she would have been better off just saying he left and stuck her with all the bills. The other stuff logical are going to expect proof, not just accusations. And Cheeto Egg says, that woman is accusing someone of a serious crime. Yes.
Yeah, which could make it a crime in itself in the Philippines. So that's, it's really a very heavy situation.
ZJ says, guys are demanding that he makes a video rebuttal, which honestly is probably not a good idea. Dude, this is real life. How do you rebuttal straight up crazy? No, there is no, again, I'm not saying anyone's crazy, but what I'm saying is you cannot argue with crazy. No. Why does a foreigner need to steal a $200 phone?
Right.
Robert Smith says she needs to file charges if it's true. What she says, any government will press charges. Honestly, I don't have a good impression of either of them. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's okay because it's interesting because there's like
Cheeto Egg.
about
Woman
10
scorned.
of
No
them.
one believes her. Only a fool. Well,
Like I said, I think there's an explanation for the whole situation, but we don't expect either party. We've offered, but I don't expect to get to.
Yeah. Hi, this Dave says no woman in her right mind is going to keep harping on her ex about financial responsibilities when she's alleged that he has been abusing her child. And he goes,
I like that.
ZJ says if you break up with your partner, you don't want to date any more Filipinas. It makes sense why you leave. No, again, there's an exodus on expats, especially YouTubers, because they've been basically they broke up with their Filipinas. And again, it's human nature and it's normal human behavior that you want to leave the country that because your mind can't help but think, oh, your mind's gonna overgeneralize, like, oh, this Filipino this Filipino that, or this Filipino this Filipino that. And then you're gonna say, oh, they're all the same, you know?
Like I'm reading the comments, and almost every other one mentions her smile. Isn't that weird?
Sus. Anyway.
It is. It's your smile is contagious. What a beautiful smile. And I get it. I get it. I'm just reading through.
I find it hilarious that we all complain about and make fun of Filipino chismes, yet here we are.
And that's not what I would want to. Every last one of these is talking about her personally, her looks and everything. But there's a situation going on about a serious topic, and all the guys in her comments, all the comments are mentioning her body type, her smile, her face, how guapa she is.
Well,
and during this situation, that's what blows my mind.
The comment section is too clean, meaning they're all one-sided, which tells
and
me
she is. We're not saying she's not beautiful. This is an observation, and definitely, and she's a beautiful woman. But all of the comments left here are say yes. Then we're all. So what's that all say, by the way?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with any of them.
Yeah, they withdrew them all.
Oh, so, okay. Well, ZJ, then if you
we'll
withdrew
leave
them,
your.
Then,
yeah, we'll leave those out for you. I would put that one up regardless. I mean, I get that they did, but we can't see that on the live stream. We don't have to, but I'll read it. I find it weird that comment section is so social conservative. People get tired of people. People move on. change partners, but now it's a sin if you're white in the Philippines. Yeah, that he's mentioned white a few times, didn't he? So yeah, that was so weird. Disappear for days and then want to come back talking smack.
Timmy says, for every single hot chick, there's an ex-boyfriend that's tired of her shite.
Pretty
That's-
much. Who's loving who? Who's zooming who? Who's got you on that one, Timmy?
Well,
You know, I you know what I think is absolutely funny, and I get it, is how some guys will run here, and we talked about that yesterday, and then boom, they get hit by that same train they got hit by in Britain and America and Canada and France, and it just no matter where you go, things could happen.
No, it doesn't
Scorched
matter.
earth
Yeah.
is everywhere.
Yeah. Sorry, my life over at 40 says, would a Philippine understand the legal process of reporting something like this? And Brand
I
Solution
hope she
says,
realizes.
personally, as a parent myself, I would figure it out.
No, I mean reporting is reporting.
Val Susan says, expat Filipino relation that start in the Philippines normally don't start with emotions, but rather of benefits to gain. Filipina for financial and expats for companion guide with benefits.
Here's one off of her recent saying she reported. At the end of the day, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and know you did what was right, you should feel good and at peace with your decision of what you did. That can just swing in all directions. Keep your chin up.
Tim says, that's why when I was over there last September, my Filipino went to town to pick up some food for the week. The youngest daughter, she was in the house, and I sat outside to cover my ass. No, again. Okay, now the stepdaughter thing, again, it's up to you how you handle that. Okay. But as a general rule, if you're male and you have a female partner, okay, then as a rule, you don't have a female partner enter the house without them present, and vice versa. If you're female, you don't have a male person enter the house and stay there while your male partner is out and about. And of course, if it's male, you guys get the picture.
Here's another one that says, hope they talk to Gio also. He is very close to him, so he can help the authorities to find him and make him pay your debt. Nobody mentioning the kid. All they care about is her smile, what she looks like, how pretty she is, and glad to see you made it to the salon. Glad to see that, it's weird, and no mention of that dirty rat. Nothing about what could have been, what has. And this is under her saying that she reported him. A lot of them, all they can think about is that she's broke and trying to pay bills, not what's up with the kid. So I find the comment section to be just so insane right now. And that's not her. That's other people commenting her on her stating that she turned him in. Well, said that she reported. We don't know exactly if she just reported he did that to her on finances and did pay the bills. We don't know what it actually in details, but 2 thumbs up. Let him get his own. Stand strong, stand strong. What an animal. And he is Gio's friend. Gio should help. I don't know why Gio should help. That's for sure. So for the fact she is talking online says a lot. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hurley.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you.
Hurley. Thank you. God bless you on that.
Hector Gubat says, I am Phil Am, and for my peace of mind when I return there, I have a good lawyer and retainer to defend against anyone who may file a fake case against me. You never know. If you are charged with a crime, you go to jail until the trial, which may take years. Hey there, Focus in Asia and Ruby. We're trying. Welcome to the channel. You guys have been regulars, and again, we're trying to address the ones that are on topic and again, don't take offense if we just
Right.
yeah.
And you know what I think is weird? These seem to be the same comments that I've seen on the Filipina Beach channel. And what's the other girl that's just like the Filipina Beach? She copied the beat. Beauty. Same comments, babe. They're almost identical. I would love to go to your city and take you and your kid out for dinner and buy you school books and it just seems to be a repeat of buying dinner, take on vacation, you can come here.
They have skin
Where
in the
is
game.
home
They're
from?
biased.
Where is your home? Is it safe for me to send you money now? And it's a repeat and it's a repeat and it's a it's
Yeah.
like a wash and repeat. And 9 out of 10, of course, are male, and I get that. But I mostly, when I click on, they appear to be expats, not the actual Filipina community. So it's
Yeah.
it's just a repeat. And I only mention the other channels because we watch these other channels. We're YouTubers, and they come up in our feed, and it seems to be the repeat of the same comments. What's that got to do with anything? I'm just saying they're the same comments. So there's more involved than just her looks and taking her out to dinner. And it's kind of like, being in a car accident and, half your legs dangling off. And the guy's like, can I get your number? Can I get your number? And it's like, dude, can you call me an ambulance? It's like what's up?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Can I get your number?
ZJ says McMahon spent 5 years without a trial. Philippines and beyond. George, you were a chick boy?
It's a chick boy.
It's the Philippine word for playboy.
Yeah, what, you not believe in that? The man had kids before he left. He was like a real player. Still a player.
Philippines Beyond says maybe this breakup is the best thing that happened to her.
I don't know where you're getting that at.
Yeah, well,
We've heard
rumors.
different things, but be curious where you actually got where they said it'll be gone in January. That's a weird date.
Team House says that's why when one travel.
Oh crap! Is that today or tomorrow? Is the manager?
Oh, I don't know. It shouldn't be. Oh yeah, it could be today.
No, it's Friday.
Okay. That's when one travels to the Philippines, needs to read up on all the laws for every scenario and walk in line.
No, that's tomorrow. I was thinking it was today because usually, we're not live. So that's one.
No, I'm looking at the soundboard.
Hey, David.
Sarah says, "Are you causing buzzing sound from your mics or phone, or my voice is wanting attention?"
It could be that. I don't know. There's a fan going. Maybe the buzzing but it's been going.
Oh, Hurley Wilson says a woman filled her cheek with saline and accused a man hitting her with a brick recently. She made over $40,000 US. These girls sometimes will do anything for money. Yeah, be careful again.
Okay. Great. I'm assuming his name's Great Kill at the bottom. I made a comment on Gio's channel and I asked him about Phil. He responded that they stopped talking 3 months ago. So that's what we heard. We heard that there hasn't been any.
Yeah, there's a fallout. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was 4 months ago that his channel hit 1,000. No, talk about this channel for her that she switched over to her name and. When he said when Phil moved to Palawan is when they stopped talking. So I wonder why they would go to Palawan.
Okay. Kokati, I've never heard of this part. What about the part where she showed that Phil's daughter said he wanted to, and his brother actually did. His brother. That made me believe that he might have been.
I think that's the message. I think it did say something. I think that initial message said that thing. I think it mentioned the brother did something to her too. So yeah, we seen that. Here's another thing. We'll cover both sides. If the message is what she has, we don't know if there's scorched earth on the daughter's side either. some family members do say things also. In
Oh,
other words, we don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
You see what
Sorry.
I'm saying? If, you know,
Yeah,
maybe the
I got you now.
daughter's hurt over him leaving, and why? I mean, what would be the daughter's skin in the game, besides it being her dad, that they're together, or where the hate was? You know, there might have been some legit, you know. So she might have been dealing with his family being mean to her the whole time. So over her being younger, which is really sad too. So that's not easy to deal with. So that's stuff you got to expect if you're dating. There would be no doubt in my mind. I will use, and I don't know how Old Dog's family feels or Gio's family feels about these guys dating these younger women that they're engaged to or married. I'm sure down the line there's some family member on all those sides of these guys that don't like where they're married to somebody younger, whether it's an ex-wife, whether it's a family, daughter, cousin, haters, other vloggers that just are hating. So she probably was dealing with that too. So
Yeah.
So
Hi, this is Dave. He's talking about those comments mostly that we can see. It says all these white knighters trying like hell to vie for affections. Just remember what BBD said: never trust a big butt and a smile, provided she does have a but don't. Don't. Yeah. Richard says, we're almost done. Richard says, insane commenters, very thirsty dudes.
yeah, we advise you guys, to make your own decision by watching her videos. And now we're seeing that, um, regular guy put a video out, which we don't know. I think he's just putting her video out. What's actually going on?
Right. Neil Martin says, it's proven that fact that pretty you are, the more honest you are. That's sarcasm, but yeah, for the most part, that's what a lot of people tend to do. ZJ says ad hominems are a thing for armchair lawyer in YouTube comment sections. David Cardona, he's talking about the comments. Hey David, how you doing? Can I be your baby? Can I be your baby daddy? There it is. Okay. ZJ says
I'm double checking to see if she emailed or anything, so I don't expect she will.
he's making a comment because of the daughter thing. My uncle destroyed his father's tombstone. Not all kids like their parents. No, this again, some kids don't like their parents, of course, and may not want to frame them, or if those are real photos or what. Why hasn't he been charged in the USA for doing it? That's what he's saying is, well, what I'm saying is, you wouldn't, if you don't like your parent, you wouldn't frame the real photos of your parent. Yeah. And he's also saying, if these were real, as far as the daughter's concerned, why wasn't he charged for it? Now, again, there are several variables as far as both parties are concerned, whether they're true or not. That's up to you to decide.
There could be a few scenarios.
There's a lot of things going on.
Maybe, possibly, allegedly, it did happen, and being she did delay, and the family knew about it, maybe she won't at all, and now she's kind of just telling people on YouTube. Maybe it allegedly didn't happen, and this was just to get some assistance and scorched earth. There's 3 or 4 scenarios this could actually be. It's a sad situation because it puts her out in the community amongst the expats that'll see her go by. It will be where it puts him in problems if he comes back. Anybody that he dates could be a problem. Anybody that she dates could be a problem. She may find it harder to possibly date from here with that situation. I mean, eventually everything's found on YouTube for sure. Right.
Now, bear in mind, okay, again, we present this in an objective manner. Be aware, I'm going to put you up there, Sexpat Task Force. Now, first off, Sexpat Task Force just showed up on the very end.
Oh, okay. Look, it's our favorite person.
Again, if you watched it from the very start, obviously you didn't.
Nope.
Anybody in this room will tell you we pretty much, again, presented this in an objective manner as possible. Now, the problem I see, and anybody else in this room will see, your statement is Great. We have a great, large, jealous white woman critiquing about hot Pinoys dating guys. One, we're not criticizing anybody about dating nobody. Two, what does large have anything to do with the subject in mind?
Yep, sounds
Okay.
like that. Sounds like an Andy Omar ETP trash person themselves. Hey, what's
Um,
going on? Did you
Unfortunately,
miss
anybody
me?
in this room will agree with me somehow. Your
I think
statement
it's the
is construed
ETP,
well.
Andy Omar, Allo, all that bullshit
Okay.
group wrapped into one.
Again, you obviously came in here with a biased point of view and
Oh,
not knowing. You just basically step in and just state some random attacking statement. Okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
hey ZJ.
Yeah.
What's
ZJ says the guy was very ugly, which gives incentive to guys come here to rescue. Well, he's talking about the White Knights. Remember, here I've come to save the day.
right?
But going back to the wife's ambulance example, who gets horny during a bad time? It's one of the basically what he's saying is,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Well,
we can see him.
basically, again, it's just
I think it's funny. You don't think we ain't been
it's
in the
like
game? You don't think
you
we've been in
know,
the game long
hey,
enough?
here's my chance. She's available.
Oh, you hit the truth nerve, huh? Wow.
And again, the very first statement she says, and she said it with so much.
Truth, sweetie. I know that I'm big. I mean, come
Yeah, she did
on.
say, "Hey, I'm single." So
I
thank you.
don't get why you and the other group. What I think is that I put my point out there and obviously irked you to make that actual statement. You're the one that came into our room to watch. Just remember
No,
that.
no, no. The truth did not hit on your nerves. It's just again somehow you're attacking for no reason.
No,
The
and I
same
already
way,
know I'm big, sweetie. Obviously, you haven't presented yourself to me at any point,
right? And
and
Brand Solution says the fact that you're not banned
yeah, bite
makes
me.
me
Yeah, I
think
usually
they're
say bite.
open-minded.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a bite
well,
me. We believe that you circle
yeah, there
those
there it is.
rooms and drama rooms. So
Well, nobody gets big overnight. I got my belly from many delicious meals. Again, at our age,
it really
uh,
doesn't matter. The
we're
only one that
you
matters at
know.
the end of the day is me and my husband, and not you. So,
Hey
and
Heidi,
thank you for the comment.
Sarah says, "Hey
I did.
Heidi,"
I said bite me.
and Mr. Fluffy says, "You tell him, Heidi." And again, it doesn't
That's
matter
why.
who you are. What I'm talking about your physical being. I mean, we're all old. Some of us has disabilities.
Mhm.
Okay. Some of us, and I'm not disabled, but guess what? I'm getting bigger sideways. Just saying. So, and I'm an athletic guy. I always have been until recently. So
Yep.
okay. Kokari says I wouldn't call her a
Bustling.
hot Pinay, quote unquote. She is for at best. And
I think
again,
she's.
well, that being said, Kokari is probably Filipino.
You said that the
Yeah.
last time. Sex bad.
And puppet, no, trust me, I'm far from a puppet.
And even if you are, that's kind of our business anyways. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, they said that the last time they called you a puppet. So I think it's funny.
Actually, I've always wondered about that, not because if you guys follow the channel, you'd be like, hmm. But anyway, I think she chose to wear a cleavage shirt showing B cup C's, but more Pilates area A cup, so it gets the guys turned on. She could
The
have
other
had dressed
way.
more conservative. Um,
Yeah.
Baguio Dave says he moved her from her hometown with her daughter, paid off the bills, and fly her back reasonable and break up. Yeah. Brand Solution says the only thing that matters is what you see when you look in the mirror. And of course, my opinion, because I'm great, but I think you're beautiful. Aw, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah,
No,
she is. She
I'm
is beautiful.
George knows I have all the confidence in the world. I am a big fluffy woman. I know my value. I know my worth. And it's funny how they think if they just say this word. We've been in the game for years. And if I had like $1 for every time somebody has said something like that, they think it bends somebody. Or I'm gonna sit around and be, oh God, boo, he called me fat, he called my husband a puppet. That's not the way it works. You're the one in our room making
That's
the
what we call
comments.
schoolyard.
Yeah, and it's the same with those other channels. All those same guys go in those other serious gossip channels and talk about somebody's size or how short they are or how tall they are. And that's the entire live. Well, it doesn't affect us in one mean or the other. Hey, Kiki.
Kiki says, "Wow, you guys still alive?"
Yeah.
Manny C says, "Sexpat, cam up or go away."
Pretty much. And we said that to him before, and there was nobody in the messenger. So he won't. And it doesn't matter. We're not gonna sit there and, in other words, you're talking about my appearance versus what we're actually doing wrong. This is what we actually do.
David Cardona says, "Who's a loser with no profile pic?
Correct.
Show your face, coward." Making that kind of statement. And no, most of these guys, again, they don't really.
It's yeah. I mean, so he's had an account for a while, but he's not. He's he's a watcher, so that's what he is. He came into our room, so okay. So
No. It's that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We're expecting
Yeah.
Globe today. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Thank you so much, guys. We really truly appreciate you.
Thank you for
Thank
all
you
of
so
our
much.
members. Yeah, I wouldn't today.
No.
We're not going to go through, and we're just going to run this and thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to our members. Peel the Onion Slowly and Hurley Wilson. I'll address the hellos to our members. Kiki was in here. David, Mr. Fluffy was in the house. David Cardona, Hector Gubat. We had Sarah. We had Ruby was in the house. Mike's Philippine Journey, thank you for dropping in. Brand Solution, thank you for dropping in. We really do appreciate you. We've seen you out in the community.
Annie C, Heidi Dave.
So we really do appreciate you guys actually being in here. If you haven't subscribed. Turn on notifications for anything else. So thank you, Ruby. Yeah, run back to Omar. Andy Omar is pretty much. We know where the groups are coming from, and that's fine. He's more than welcome to be in here. I always say the trolls are always welcome. Without that hate, it means we weren't really loved at all. So when you have haters, that means you made it all the way to the top, and that's all he's doing. You can't break down somebody that's been through a lot of things. It's Are you even kidding me? I told George Short, if somebody's showing up at my doorstep, none of your threats.
Oh, good luck on that one. Just saying.
Right. So it's like, we've heard other vloggers and other people that make all these, threats and this and that and this and that. And it's like, yeah, okay, we'll see you. We'll see you on the dark side of the moon. So bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
God bless. And we'll see you guys soon. Until next time, we will see you. Bye. Guys.